Man, I gotta be honest, I'm a little annoyed that that's the song that it shuffled into because that would have been a perfect intro song. Instead, we're gonna get this. Honestly, maybe even better. Folks, gamers, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, Pokemon fans, how are we doing today, motherfuckers? Dude! What's good? 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 How are we looking? How are we cooking? How are we seeing? How are we feeling? How are we tasting? Not how your body tastes, how your tongue is. How has your tongue been working? You've been doing some things with your tongue, man. Eat food. You know what? Scrap the whole fucking stream. I'm going to bed, actually. Good night, everybody. Take care. Yeah, I'm just kidding, but that was bad. That was bad. As you can tell, I'm not exactly in what I would call top form tonight. Don't worry, I only started 30 minutes later than I said I would. You know what? It's fine. It's fine, because Shandy's here, man. Fucking Shandy made it. Who gives a shit about the rest? Am I right? Oh. Holy fuck. I ate so much goddamn meat. I went to Korea and barbecue with my friends. I had a huge chunk of meat like 16 times, dude. I thought I was gonna, like, I didn't know if I was gonna be going home tonight. Shandy motherfucking ass, like, I always come back. So we're just gonna rock it until I feel worse than I do now. Because I've been up since about 8 a.m. on my feet outside sweating all day like Daniel does, except he's usually asleep by right now. So, you know, this would be the equivalent of like Daniel starting a live stream at 7 p.m. and then being asleep at 8 p.m. But us, we're going until I fucking die on camera. I don't give a fuck. I hope you don't give a fuck, because Lord knows I don't fucking give a motherfucker. Fucking fuck. Fuck! Oh, man, this is a good fucking song, dude. I wish it would come up and shuffle more often. Anyway, I'm gonna go right on ahead and load the game in the background. No fucking idea what I'm gonna be playing, guys, right? Y'all have any ideas? Any guesses? It's completely a mystery, right? No one would ever know. It's Saturday, so I can stay up as long as I want. It's Saturday for me as well, obviously. It's shiny hunting, by the way. I am, what do you call it? Home, alone. The dog's asleep. The dog's been fed. All I gotta do in the morning is put its food bowl out. And then we game. So, I'm also the kind of guy who, like, got nothing better to do. As a matter of fact, let me open up this window so that I have a chance of waking up tomorrow morning on time. That's the only thing I gotta worry about. Is that tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., Santa's coming to town! It's May. Santa's not coming. It's really sad, I know. But anyway, regardless. Yeah, I'm like, this is... Oh, fuck. VOD, live stream, meet the VOD watchers. VOD watchers meet the live stream. And understand the fact that this is the most tired I've ever been starting a live stream before. So, you can forgive me that y'all missed the first level 21 Marill and the introduction. But hey, guys! How are we doing? How are we feeling? How are we gaming? Are we winning? Are we losing? I'm not going to ask the question I asked before because it's really sus as fuck, to be honest with you. But I will ask, how, you know what, I will ask it. How have you been tasting? Has the food you've been eating been good? Has it been nutritious? Have you been eating have you been calorie counting? Have you really been taking care of yourself? I'll tell you what, I fucking didn't today. I had 700,000 pounds of protein today is what I fucking did. I went to Korean barbecue with two of my friends, and I'd never been to Korean barbecue before. I thought I was going to pass away. Okay, well, Santa does watch you at all times. This is an excellent point. I said tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., Santa's coming to town. And as a matter of fact, It's Turdwig coming to town! Let's go! I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that to you, buddy. You're okay. I did shift my camera down a little bit, which I think is funny. And it also fucked with the lights on my keyboard. Give me a second. I believe it's... Oh, that one. It's that one. Found it. Yeah, Santa does watch us all season, but he only comes in December. That guy gets pent up. I hope some of you men lovers out there can help him this season, because my ass is not doing it again. Yeah, Korean barbecue. It fucked me up, man. That was rough. That was rough. Like, ooh. I'm fairly certain that I didn't encounter the problem of raw meat. I assume I'm fine. I think I just ate a lot. I had a lot on my stomach, and it ate hoit. I had to take some time and not live stream as early as I normally do. I'm gonna turn the music down. Dear Lord. My brain is already clogged enough with thoughts of sleep and sugar plum fairies. My ass is not gonna do well listening to this loud ass music. Oh man, I'm tired. Oh no, I'm tired for sure. So I woke up this morning to the sound of people downstairs making breakfast. And went there, did that, immediately went to my sister's house in college. We are all EP, you're just more EP. I'm probably not the EPiest. If Daniel's up right now, he's the EPiest. No, it's a Saturday, he's not the EPiest. I'm the EPiest. But regardless, I was moving furniture for my sister because she's moving out tomorrow. And then we went to host a crawfish boil for her. And so that was a lot of me helping set up tables and chairs and tents and help move ice chests and boilers. And all of it was in like 95-degree Texas heat. I swear to God, this is a real thing. I sat down in a chair across from my dad, and he looked at me and went, "Christopher, did you sit in something? I think you sat in something." And we checked. No, that's just, I was so sweaty, it looked like I sat in a puddle of water. Like, I was so fucking hot out there, man. And of course, you know me, the solution to that is to have 3 beers and then drive for an hour and a half home in Texas traffic and dealing with Texas drivers. So that was awesome. I then came home, unloaded my car, fed my dog, took a shower, and then went out for a Korean barbecue. Yeah. And then I came back home from that around 9 o'clock and was like, give me until 9:30, and then I really needed until 10. And that's my life right now. This is sleepy time sea bass. Yeah, I think very, very soon you're gonna get the dimmed lights. You're gonna get the late night sea bass vibes. I think that's inevitable. Oh my God. I spent so much fluids, no diddy, by sweating today that my body is just craving water. And then I had all that meat that's very like soy sauce heavy and this, that, and the other heavy. And I'm It's been a while since we had a late night sea bass. I agree. I have to leave myself open to help around where I can over the week. So weekends, usually the time for that. But then I'm like planning normal activities the next day. I got nothing on the docket tomorrow. I got one thing. I gotta go to one guy's house at any time tomorrow, and that's all I got planned. That's the dearth of my plans for tomorrow. So I'm fine with fucking my entire ass and staying up late, even though I'm tired and probably won't be able to do that. If I you know what, I don't want to set a time to it, because if I set a time to how long I think I can stay awake and stream this, it will not pan out. You know what I mean? Like, if I say, let's say I wanted to stream until 9 o'clock, and I would be around 9 o'clock and I'd be like, oh, all right guys, now I'm really tired. So I'm not gonna say anything. I could just go for however long I fucking want. Doesn't matter to me. Ain't shit, ain't nothing to me, man. Let me turn on the ceiling fan in this room, because there is some shit that is something to me. And it is how fucking hot this room is. No one screenshot my little piggies, my little toesy woesies on camera. Don't do it. Yeah, that can go off. Thank you. And then full blast that shit. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. So I think jazz is the perfect vibe for me, because there's some songs that are very high energy and songs that are very low energy. So I'll be like fading in and out during this. There's gonna be y'all gotta be ready for it. There's gonna be like minutes, long stretches of me not talking during this. I did actually put my story concepts in my notes. That's crazy. I did the same fucking thing. But it's good, right? It's good to be like, I did it, I wrote it down. I'll let you talk because you started. I don't want to be like, oh my god, I'm more important. I want you to spit your shit. But like, I did the same thing, and I don't know if you feel the same way I do. It's a damn good feeling to have done it. Yeah, my sister's graduation. I had an hour and a half car ride that I drove home. I didn't drive there. So I had an hour and a half car ride to think about things. And then my sister's graduation was fucking 3 hours long, where I only needed to be paying attention for like 5 minutes when she was walking out and then on stage. So I had a lot of time to write a lot of shit. And I got the first half of my story laid out plot-wise in a way, not in a way that I think I can read it and talk about it, but like in a way that reminds me that I have, like I've said, I have A to Z. I know how my story begins, I know how my story ends, I know a lot of stuff in the middle, but I need to iron out the stuff in the middle. So I laid it out in a way that gives me like major plot points, let's call them. I in my notes I called it a glorified outline. I mean, I didn't go into big detail just yet, just put the surface level concept. Yeah, man, that's awesome. Actually, some stuff has changed. I have names. See, dude, that's awesome. I have so many placeholder. I have a lot more placeholder names than I thought I did. And that's just for like the, even like, I seriously think that like half of my plot relevant characters have placeholder names right now. Holy moly. I almost got fucking drowned. I almost got hit by so much water to the face. Mantis is now Sage, and Mothra is Rosie. Okay. Do you plan on keeping up? I don't know if I'm seeing patterns that aren't there, or that you didn't intend, but are we now pivoting into a name, like, not sequence, concept? Are your names connected via, like, plant? Because isn't sage a type of, like, flower? What is sage? I don't think I remember the last time I typed in the words, what is, into Google. I typed in, what is sage? Salvia? Wait a minute, whoa! Hang on, that's like a drug, huh? Word sage refers to many plants in the genus Salvia. I assume that not all sage is salvia, and not all salvia is sage. But oh shit, that's that weed that fucks you up like hella. I chose Rosie because of the rosy maple moth. Dude, I love that kind of shit. I love that kind of shit. What is the definition of a sage? No, not a sage. Like, the thing sage. One profound, distinguished for wisdom. No, not that one either. Very pretty moth. Look it up. I will, sure. I assume I have an idea of what it looks like. Oh, yeah, it looks pretty much what I thought it looked like, but the colors are a little different. Oh, it's so pink. Oh my goodness, it's so pink. Pink as fuck. That's pretty. I didn't type in the word maple. Google knew what I meant by rosy moth. Appreciate your time, Rosy Maple Moth, but I'm gonna look at other things now. I got bigger and better things to do. But that's cool, man. To get that shit out of your head and onto paper is a big step. And like you don't think it is. It impacts your ability to retain it. Because one of the things I did early on, like I said before, I haven't found those notes, but I did, was jotting stuff down about this story. That's the one part I didn't really jot down in my notes that I meant to, and I never went back to do it, is I wanted to write down notes about passion and what it means for Vincent specifically, because it's important to him in the way he interacts with the world. But passion as a concept in general, I've explained in some simple terms. I have a lot more specifics defined for it. I'd have to find those notes. Am I seriously going to have to dig into DMs with my ex-girlfriend to find it? That's such a foreboding concept. I really don't want to do that. I love you guys. Y'all are not worth me digging around in those DMs. That is not going to bring me joy. That's not going to bring me joy. That's crazy. That's what James was talking about. That's such a good idea, actually, dude. What a sick idea. What a sick way to look at James's idea and take it on your own mantle. Fuck, that's awesome, dude. You took James's concept of it's a mantis because they pray and they look like they fold their hands, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna call him Sage. That's sick. That's sick, actually. Which means all of your characters are going to have names that reference their bug, but it's going to be kind of disconnected. That's really cool. I didn't do any cool concepts with my names like that, at least as far as I know. Like I said, most of them are placeholders right now. Except for, Vincent, the main antagonist of part 1, all of his friends that fucking die, and his love interest. And his dad. I think those are the only ones who have set names. And then other stuff that I might reveal. I don't know. Why am I playing this so close to my chest? You know what I mean? Maybe I'm nervous. What if I want people to really experience my story? I will, in some capacity reveal most of what's going on in the first half, but the implications of truths revealed in part 2 would, you know what I mean? That would be like watching Evangelion, knowing what happens in End of Evangelion before you even start. It's gonna tamper your experience. Maybe in not a bad way, but you want people to have the genuine experience that the author intends, because I care a lot about that. I care a lot about author intent when I consume media. Others might, and it's to each person's preference, but if it's for my media specifically, I'm gonna want them to align to my morals. I'm gonna force y'all to align to my morals. Maybe I will. I might reveal it in passing. Maybe, who knows if I talk about it. Big consequence stuff tonight. But like, yeah, I feel like I've been teasing y'all long enough. It's time. I think tonight's the night we talk about my story for once. The scientist I'm gonna name Richard because he's a guy. He's got nothing to do with bugs. He's just a guy. I like it. Dr. Dick. I like Richard. I like giving him like a plain name. It needs to be like Dr. Richard Jacobs or something. Just very, very boring. Or hell, we can look up like famous bug scientists and just pick one that has like a really boring fucking name. Okay, well there's... Oh, famous big scientists. No. Famous bug scientists. Here we go. Aldrich. Dude, there is... I don't know what he's done, but he's a very famous entomologist. His name is Charles Paul Alexander. Charles Paul Alexander. I've never heard of a guy with just 3 fucking names ever. I mean, Alexander's kind of a cool as fuck name, so maybe it's like Charles Alex Paul. Or use some combination. That would be like funny. I don't know. Maybe not. But the concept is silly. And that Charles Paul Alexander guy lived to be fucking 91. Good for him. Like I said, I'm just rambling. I fuck with the name Richard regardless. Richard's cool enough. Richard! Sounds like a name. I can hear that name very vividly in my head as like a nagging wife would call his name. Yeah, I'm gonna let my phone charge a little bit more. But I got that shit on deck in my notes app. It's called my Lockhart plot summary. I want to make another character where his DNA is with a beetle. As in, you already have one and want a second, or you want to add to your group party size with a new, never before seen concept of a beetle. It's a beetle, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if many people have heard of this bug. This is a beetle. But beetles are cool as fuck. I saw a sick ass add to the group. Yeah, I saw a sick ass beetle this weekend. There's a fucking big ass fucker, like not really fighting flies, but like there were a bunch of little fruit flies around him, and he was just kind of like fucking swinging on them and scaring them off. I don't know if that's exactly what I saw. I'm also tired as shit. I did see a big ass fucking beetle. It looked eerily like a rhinoceros beetle without its horn. You gotta add that guy to the group. I see. Gotcha. His name will be Heracross. No, it won't. Good one. Dude, I can see like Hera or Cross. Although Hera is a lot more like the goddess Hera, so maybe just Cross. Dude, what if you named him like X? And you go most of the show not explaining the fact that X means cross, and cross as in Heracross, as in he's a beetle. I don't know. Like I said, my brain is full of dumb juice. And I'm just... I mean, then again, you told me you're gonna name one of the characters in your story fucking Heracross, so, you know, who's the dummy tonight? I don't know, actually. It's both of us. That's the real answer. We're both stupid as fuck tonight. That's for damn sure. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Yep. There's a big-ass yawn 21 minutes into recording. Oh, God. Yeah, man. I'm not fucking around with you. We're starting on a bad foot tonight. We are not starting off on my brightest and strongest. The character will be a protector because beetles represent regeneration, protection, and resilience. They sure do. They sure do. Oh, God. No, it's fine. I'll get over it. I won't be tired. It's okay. It's fine, guys. Lock in. We're getting a shiny Marill tonight. Lock in. This is our moment. What's an appropriate percentage for my phone to be at so I don't have to keep it attached to this fucking... I mean, I have... Oh my god, just looking back, I wrote a lot. I wrote a lot down. Holy shit. I wonder what that translates to if I put it in like a Word document or something. Actually, I'm gonna take some time to make that happen. We're going to do that. I'm gonna go like this maneuver, and then this maneuver, and then copy, and then that we're gonna paste into an email in just a second. And then I'm gonna put that onto my computer, and then when I put that onto my computer, I'll put it into a note doc, or I'll email it to myself. When I email it to myself, I'll put it in a notes document, and then when I put it into a note document, it's who knows. That's my Pokemon. Yeah, this is gonna be low fucking key vibes today. Oh shit. Holy fuck. Magdalena Bay is going in live in my in October in my city. Oh my god. Do I want to go see her? Oh man, I might want to go see fucking Magdalena Bay live in concert. That is where I'm gonna get all the pussy. I'm gonna get all the pussy there. Yeah, sure, dude. I'll get pussy ever. That's so true. Here's how your channel... I'm getting so distracted. I did 14 streams in April, apparently, according to Twitch. I got 4,600 minutes of watch time. That's so cool. Oh, this is YouTube. Never mind. I believe more of it now. Nice. Oh my god, that's so wonderful. We're gonna have way more watch time this month because of this daily shiny hunting series. It's a little basic, but maybe the name will be cold for the Coleoptera. Coleoptera, yeah, okay. You just gotta give me a second. I can pronounce these words. Ah, yes, this little fucker. Or no, this is just more of like a general concept of beetles. This isn't an actual specific beetle. The largest animal order comprises more than 400,000 species of beetles and weevils. Isn't a weevil like a fucking... I don't... No, I'm thinking of a weasel. I'm stupid as fuck. Cole's a fine name. That ain't that basic. Because I will say, as someone who doesn't know a lot about bugs, I did not know that word before you typed it in my chat. So I think it's good enough. It serves the point. It sounds like a sort of normal-ish name, like Sage and Rosie and Cole. They sound normal enough, and then you know, if you realize there's a connection between their names and the bugs they are, you're like, oh, how does that puzzle get solved? Rosie, oh yeah, because of the Rosie maple moth. Wow, you know, it's cool to leave. It's cool to leave varying difficulties almost, because like sometimes people might notice Rosie, know that she's a moth, and think about that, and that's what gets their brain started to think about everything else. Other times, people might not know that stuff and just look at Cole, know he's a beetle, and go, wait, Coleoptera. You know, people know different things, and it's interesting to play into those differences and let people discover the fact that you were creative with your name choices. So I like it. I like it. All right. I said I was gonna do a thing. I completely forgot about it. No, that wouldn't be how to do it. This is how to do it. Set it to myself, and we're gonna go ahead and paste that whole fucking thing. I forget if you can check the size of emails, but I bet that shit is huge. Nah, it wouldn't be that huge. But it is, oh my god, it's really long. Oh my god, it's just seeing it not in my phone's note apps is really, even just the first half, even without explaining all of the things I wanted to explain, because I didn't cover anything about like what passion actually is in those notes. It's still like so fucking much. Oh my god, it's actually kind of freaky to look at. I'm a little scared actually. But I'll paste it in the notes app. Oh my god, it's like hell. So we're gonna do it like this. And if I ever want to read that around now-ish, we'll pull that back up. We'll hide it from now, because I don't want to look at it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to feel it. I don't want to be it. I wish spiders were bugs, because that would be a cool villain. I mean, you want all of your villains to be bugs specifically? Or do you want them to be, like, bug and bug adjacent? I understand that, like, maybe just one non-bug enemy would be a little out of place. Like, oh, he thinks a spider's a bug. But I think if you did, like, a spider and a scorpion and another thing, I think that, actually, now that I think about it, maybe a scorpion is a bug. Scorpion bugs, question mark? Scorpions are arachnids. I didn't know that. Oh. Huh. I guess them bitches do have 8 legs. Son of a bitch, why have I never thought about that? Huh. Because I knew they had the exoskeleton. I knew they had stuff that was making them similar to spiders. I didn't know they were arachnids. Huh. Okay. Well, there you go. It's funny because that's common stuff for me. That's what I'm saying, man. That's we all know different levels of shit. Apparently, I know fucking nothing about anything. So that's my fault for existing this long, continuing to be this stupid. But nah, someone like you who knows a lot more about it will get more mileage out of it. I'm worried, like I definitely, like my eyes are begging me to turn off the front light, but like I feel like if I do, I start to go to sleep. Because that's what my eyes really want. My eyes are like, we're done with today. Go to fuck bed. Fucking bed, go to fuck. Fuck the bed and go. Go bed and fucking fuck. What's that guy who's like, sit down and stand still and sit up and sit down. Get your ass, sit down. Ass in the own and the down. Sit down and stand up. God damn it. I love that bit. Sit up and stand up. Spiders and scorpions hunt insects. Is that enough of a reason to add them? That's kind of what I'm thinking, is like, you can have your villains be bugs, but you can also just have your villains be things that predate on bugs. But that's also another question that you maybe have not asked yourself. What about your villains makes them related to animals as well? Are they in the same boat as having gone some kind of experimental treatments to make them have spliced DNA? Or like what's up with that? Have you thought about that? You might not have. Again, you're very, very early on in all this shit. Once I get this encounter, I want to look at that document again. Holy fuck, maybe we don't get a fucking encounter. Maybe we're done getting encounters forever. Maybe Shiny Marill will never show up. Maybe it was never real. Maybe what we're doing is preventing any Shiny Marills from ever being able to spawn. Maybe I'm doing everything wrong and I should just go fucking throw myself off a goddamn bridge. Not really, but give me like 2 minutes and I can think of something. You don't gotta force it, but like, I mean, you can if you want. But like, ADHD is a bitch, but also very useful. Well, there you go. Use the ADHD anxious energy to for your benefit rather than to your detriment. That's the secret to having this, folks. Look, having ADHD, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. You don't. People who wish that they had this don't know what people with ADHD and stuff go through. But for the people that got it, we got to learn to use it to our advantage rather than let it use us to our detriment. We got to work together. Yeah, I can't really necessarily type stuff into a document while doing the shiny hunt. I mean, I don't know. Probably I can't. I probably cannot. If there were like virtual buttons for me to press, I could. Maybe I'll think of something. I feel inspired. I feel inspired enough to write some shit down. Because I'm looking at that section about Vincent and Passion, and I'm like, oh, I didn't write a fucking word there. Oops. Alright, let me just like start jotting down useless fucking nonsense. God. Oh my god. You should fucking see what I am writing here. It's diabolical. The amount of typos I just did trying to write one half of a sentence. Oh god, maybe I don't want to write this stuff down tonight. Oh, okay. We went from Mach to Acro back to Mach. Or we went from Acro to Mach and then back to Acro. I understand it. Okay, so now we're having clashing ideals. You have a woman who is making DNA hybrids of people and animals, or people and arachnids and whatnot, in opposition of her husband. Yeah, maybe. That's an idea to sit on for sure. And to see where it develops from there and how it feels. There's a lot of interesting stuff that comes from that. my brain first goes to like a potential the bug humans reunite with Richard and join Richard in an effort to take down the woman doctor. Potentially, maybe not, but that's where my brain goes first. Okay, how did the fuck do? Oh no, I spelled. Okay, I was like, I tried to type the word throughout, and then I corrected it, and what I thought was correct, and the red line stayed. I was like, what the fuck do you mean? And then I right-clicked on it, and then the red line was gone. Also affect Rosie knowing that her mom is part of the bad guys. Ah, yes, because Rosie is the daughter, but like, did we ever decide if that was an illegitimate daughter or an adopted daughter or whatever else about that? I'm realizing like the first part of my story is actually... So I have my story broken up into 2 halves, and each of those halves are broken up into 3 segments of varyingly different length. We decided bio. Okay. Why do I keep saying we? I mean like you decided and told me, meaning that there's 2 people involved, and my brain goes, oh, that's we. So I apologize for using those pronouns that way, like I'm taking credit for your story. I don't mean to. I just, you know what I mean? I'm being kept in the loop about your decisions. Oh yeah, I'm realizing the way I've written part 1, I've gone into very... there's a lot of... The first line, it covers like 65% of it. Maybe even more. About that I thought of in the car ride home that I need to add to this list. Just 2 words, despite begging. There we go. What a foreboding tone that has, completely out of context. I definitely need to start writing notes down about what Vincent's passion is. And I'll just talk to y'all about it. So, like, I've got this whole, like, conflicting... Because the whole concept is, like... There's so many different thoughts and feelings that people have as they go throughout life. And I wanted to kind of hone in on that concept and allow for characters to... Or at least, especially Vincent, to be kind of a shareholder in, like, you can't just be stoic about every emotion you ever feel ever. You need to allow yourself to feel things, otherwise it's going to destroy you. But also, you need to rein in on those feelings and not just let yourself feel everything unfiltered and unlogically, and allow yourself to get angry, upset, overexcited. You need to find balance in your life. That's the kind of point I'm hammering home. So the first type that Vincent, the first type, so here's the thing. Vincent's family, is Lockhart a steampunk world because the name makes it sound like one? No, I imagine it more semi-modern fantasy world. I imagine it sorta like a little less modern version of what My Hero Academia setting is. Is like I do kind of picture My Hero Academia a little bit. I assume there are some big cities, some pseudo-metropolitan stuff. but like passion is like a part of that world. But no, I wouldn't consider it steampunk. I would consider it more pulling towards fantasy, if anything. Maybe there are people whose jobs are to, like, use their passion to well, that would be a little complicated in terms of what the actual effects of passion are. But there's also... Oh my god, okay, hang on. Give me 1 second here. I'm wondering... Last story, Little King's story. This is not what we're looking for, I doubt it. Yeah, that doesn't seem right at all. Oh boy. I don't think I have any of it. Yeah, I need to go get my fucking notes from my work computer. Because, good lord, there's some really important stuff on there that I haven't thought about in long enough. So I don't know. Like, there's like... I've described passion as like this energy people have. It feels very similar to like chakra or ki or whatever. But you can either just like manifest that energy and just throw like dumb fucking blasts of energy at people, and it would be very inefficient. It would be not as potent as some more intelligent things you could do with that energy. You could just go blah, and fucking fire some laser at somebody, but it's gonna be very weak and or require so much fucking energy that anything equivalent to like a Kamehameha in Dragon Ball literally would like drain a person to death to do. Like a normal person would be drained to death if they tried to throw a Kamehameha. Like literally they would be able to shoot a laser for like 2 seconds and then they would be dead, kind of thing. Not to say that you don't have a lot of energy and a lot of things you can't do, but if you just fucking do nothing with it and just pump it out of your body, you're gonna run out. It's gonna fucking falter so fast. That incentivizes my story to lean on creativity and people using their power. One way that I find myself doing a lot in my head is that people use this energy to kind of amp themselves up. Make them move faster, hit harder, jump higher kind of things. Right, I'm trying, yeah. I'm like I said, I unfortunately haven't touched up on my old notes in too long, and it's been too long since I touched up on my old notes that I don't remember all of the concepts that I had, but like, and I don't have some of the more finer details about the setting, how society functions, how it interacts with passion itself. Spoiler warning, actually not much of a spoiler warning, it happened very early on in the story. The world is kind of under warfare. There's a global war occurring in my story, and that kind of, anything that I've ever thought about in terms of how certain things work has always been towards the mindset of defining that. One of the bigger questions I had to ask myself is how powerful are guns in this story, and how powerful are people who can't really use passion but are good with guns? And honestly, thinking about that, I need to make a character that has little to no passion control. You know what? I'm gonna have a section up here for like ideas for later. Make a character who has no passion, little to no passion abilities, and is just really good with a gun. Because I have to imagine that, like, my guns in my stories, I can't just tell myself, no, it's boring if it's just guns are good, so I want to make them super much more powerful than guns. But then I have to be realistic. Like, there are, like, past a certain threshold, you're gonna have characters that have perceptive and speed abilities to dodge bullets. And that's gonna be, like, sort of, not quite, but closing in on where Vincent is at the beginning of the story. I feel like within the first, if I'm doing an anime on this show, within the first 10 episodes of this story, assuming that it's going to be like in the 100-ish episodes in all, by like episode 10, Vincent's going to be fast enough to not worry about most Joe Schmo. Like, if I walked up to Vincent with a gun, I'm fucked. Like, I'm not going to win that fight. That's where Vincent's going to be in like the first 10 episodes of the story. So they're going to be problematic. They're going to be like an issue, and they're going to be used, but like, you're going to have someone like this character I just thought of, who is like specialized in being good as fuck with a gun to really keep up at the top level. I usually think about my story when I'm doing a 4-hour walk. Dude, you do a 4-hour walk? That's fucking blessed. Holy fuck. That's crazy. That's awesome for you. That being said, that is a great time to think about story stuff. But yes, trying to think. I got sidetracked by that idea, and I wanted to write it down because I thought it was cool as fuck. And if I didn't write that down, especially with how tired I am right now, never remember that. I would never remember that. I would never remember that ever. I can already remember a time where I talked about something in my story on this fucking stream. Not today, but, you know, on this channel. And I forgot about it, and I woke up the next day being like, fuck, am I really gonna scroll through that entire VOD just to find that idea? Oh. And I never did. I don't even remember which one it is now, so that idea is gone to the sands of time. Point is, write shit down when you think of it if you think it's cool. Anyway, so passion is this energy that you have in yourself. And as I've described a couple times, but I'll do it again just for the sake of clarity, you can manifest that energy to do whatever you want it to do, as long as you have the capability and knowledge to do so. If you want to turn your passion straight into... That's another question I'm going to have to ask myself. What do I do about money? What do I do about money if people can just make gold and shit? I have got to put that idea in brackets in my notes. Ideas in brackets are plot holes that I need to cover. But that seems really important to have a society built upon something that is not recreatable via passion. I don't know. Maybe it becomes sort of like a... Maybe I can't have super big metropolitan things in my story, because this power system more relies off of kind of like a bartering system. Like, yeah, you can make 5 blocks of gold, and I thank you for making those blocks of gold. Here's 10 cows. I need a society that functions more on that level. I wonder if I could make a massively civilized metropolitan population out of that. I don't know if I can. I mean, maybe you could if you just ignored a lot of shit, but, you know, I'm trying not to do that if I can help it. Passion, basically determination from Undertale. Very basic comparison, but still. Sort of. There's some similarities to it. A lot of my idea from it drew from the idea of, like, the thing that really kicked this idea off is, like, manifestation of your own, like, power and will. Like, so there is this concept, you know, like Undertale has the thing, but it refused to die, and then it resurrects itself, and then it's fine, it keeps fighting, kind of thing. I always thought those were kind of fucking heart or my power kind of bullshit. So my story almost, like, makes that possible without being bullshit, because it's tied to the way the power works in the world. Because, like, And I think the big thing is that the exact opposite can happen. If you are powerful enough, and if you are capable enough, and if you are competent enough to win this fight, but you don't believe in yourself, you physically become weaker and now really can no longer win the fight. So as much as you can go, I believe in myself and get stronger, whether that's enough or not is, you know, sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But like, as much as you can believe in yourself and get stronger, you can doubt yourself and become weaker. So I feel that really creates this interesting dynamic. So basically my insecure ass would die. Mine too. or you and I would be fucking like nobody scrubs. Fucking don't accomplish anything. At least I wouldn't. Oh man. But it does create this interesting like dynamic to it. Where you do have this whole like, oh, my heart is my power, I believe in me, and my friends are stronger than you. It really, literally can make you stronger if you think that, which I think is cool. I think that's cool you can do that, because it makes a lot of battles very mental. If you can psychologically break your opponent down and make them doubt themselves, you can beat them up even if they're like 10 times stronger than you. I think that concept is cool as fuck. So when I thought of that originally, I was like, oh, wait, that's sick. I can be a cheesy, nerdy piece of shit, but it like makes sense in my world so that no one thinks I'm being cheesy. That shit, yeah, that was the moment where I was like, oh, this idea is sick as fuck, actually. I've been running on that high ever since. But yeah, Vincent in particular has 3 things going on with him in this story. The first one is... actually, the first 2 are because of his heritage and his like his family lineage. Do you remember your core concept on why the story was made? Because yours is trauma. Mine was never as definable by one word. I can't just say like, oh, my story is about pain. My story is about growth. I guess growth would be maybe the best word I could use. But like, it's weird because I made this story. I started on the concept of the power system. The power system is what drove every other decision I've made for this story. Because I guess my core, if you want to call it that, my core is ensuring that the story I tell and the theming ties into the things that are happening, that sounds nonsensical, but let me try to explain it better. So like passion, right? I've talked about it. It's this power system that when you believe in yourself, you can accomplish things. When you don't believe in yourself, you can't accomplish things. When you use that energy to create something rather than just burn all your energy on useless crap, you can make much more brilliant things. And how certain philosophies of life don't mesh or do like have different interactions with that power set. Like the Lockhart family is very set on stoicism and staying cool and level-headed and using your emotions as weaponry to enhance your passion when needed. Like, I don't need to be angry right now or whatever. I can internalize that and use that anger to fight stronger when I need it, kind of thing. So my point is, with all of that, is that those things, those aspects of my power system, those aspects of what characters do when they punch or they fly and all that, it will tie directly into the theming of my story, the message that I'm trying to convey. So this like coupling, and it's something that it's not new ground, you know what I mean? It's not something no one's ever done before, but like coupling the thing your power does with what you want to tell as a storyteller was the idea that really made this important to me. So I guess my core concept is, I'll say it again, now hopefully less confusing, is that the power system, that the things that happen in the story relate to what the story is about. Like the things that happen in the story relate directly to the message I am trying to tell as a storyteller. My brother's wife is trying to get published on a book she's writing right now, so she and I also had a good talk last night about story writing stuff. So my brain is, and between all of our talks in chat and my conversation with her last night, my brain is we might be about a week away from me actually starting to write this story. I don't know for certain. I won't say anything in certain terms, but my brain, I'm keyed into it. I've been thinking about this shit a lot lately. So is there going to be a thing for people that they think they're stronger than they realize? Like being overconfident is their backfire, or would they just become that strong? They wouldn't become that strong. I think that's something I maybe didn't convey super well. It's more of a relative buff. If I sit here and let's say I have passion, and I illogically think I can lift 10,000 pounds if I really believe in myself, I would probably give myself the strength to lift about 6,000 pounds. But if I tried to lift 10,000 pounds, I'd fucking not do it. So it will boost your strength to a point. It won't let you do anything. And that's what I think I've confused people on, is it doesn't allow you to just accomplish whatever you want. Rather, it still has to exist within the confines of reality. So for example, if I wanted to, I could just use passion to generally strengthen me up, but if I really wanted to go through that thought process of, okay, what would it take for me to change my body into a body that can lift 10,000 pounds? Either I'm gonna have to be super perfect and do it all exactly right, or I'm gonna fucking tear my body apart doing it. So in general, I'm not just gonna be like, hey, watch this, I can do 10,000 pounds. So it has to be logical. Yes, it has to be founded in reality. For example, Vincent's main power system is that he has a lot of ability to manipulate air. A lot of it, in practice, it'll seem a lot like airbending from Avatar, but in reality, it's a lot more specific stuff. If I, and I'm sure Avatar does this too. Again, I'm not trying to pretend I'm better than all these other people. But these characters at every moment are gonna have to constantly think about what their passion is doing and what it has to do to accomplish their goal. If I fucking, I would have to know, what would I have to do standing right here to pull oxygen out of your lungs if you're 15.75 feet away from me? What would I have to do to the oxygen atoms specifically, and how can I manipulate them by standing here? I have to put my passion as a daisy chain from this oxygen atom to this one to this one. And at that point, maybe it's not that specific. I won't have to, I don't think characters are going to have to think about this individual atom to this individual atom, but just the general concept of I need to be able to know how my passion can get from here to there. And that is what makes very high level people very, because for example, I can't pull the oxygen out of your stomach from 15 feet away, but if I'm pressing my hand up against your nose, yeah, maybe it's a lot easier for me to just go flick, and now I've created a vacuum in your lungs, and they are now the size of sheets of paper, and you fall over dead, unable to reinflate your lungs. And that there's things I've thought about that as well to kind of limit certain insanity stuff. That's getting into the more what I've called specific uses of passion and vague uses of passion. A vague use of passion, for example, is fucking shooting a goddamn super laser beam out of your hand and dying immediately afterwards. Another vague form of passion is again, I have to find my notes because I don't remember the specifics of this, but I had a concept similar to the idea. I literally called it aura years before that became a thing kids were saying, so laugh it up, but I'm going to call it aura. Like an energy that will surround you in sort of a defensive banner. But it also can work. Like I have a concept for a character whose aura that surrounds them is toxic. So if you fucking like try to throw a punch at him, you are like, it's like a neurotoxin that immediately seeps into your body and lobotomizes you in seconds. Or like completely paralyzes you in minutes. So like I said, there's nuance to the idea of what aura is. In general, people will use it as like a shield to their body, very similar to how, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, Dragon Ball characters do this a lot where they use their ki to bolster their defenses. That's kind of where I have this concept from. Does passion... Oh, this is such an interesting question that I can't fucking answer. Oh, man. So does passion have a type of mother nature where if you do something to disturb it or take advantage of it, it'll backfire? No, but sometimes yes. Because certain types of passion comes from heaven. And I want it to be as confusing and as vague as that sounds. It's nonsense, don't worry. Just don't think about it, it's nonsense. Most times, passion is pretty innate to human nature, and therefore will not have any consequence. I understand the idea of it, but not in like a direct way. You know, in kind of like a symbolic way, where like, you know, all the environmentalist stories do, where they have to face consequences for their disregard for the environment and for society. But in specifics of like something is directly going to happen to them if they fuck around, not necessarily. They could have direct consequences where like their bodies break, or they push themselves too hard and start pulling into their own personal like body's energy rather than this passion that flows within you. The passion will be kind of tied to like the soul of people, so it won't be your physical energy. You'll have like a spiritual energy as well. I guess it's a very roundabout way to answer your question and end up, but no, most of the time. Most of the time, no. But also, again, I shouldn't. Oh, I shouldn't. Should I keep teasing the concept. Do I reveal my whole hand on this one? What I really need to do is I need to write the full synopsis of my story in like 20 sentences. I need to have every moment that's ever going to happen in this story happen in 20 sentences so that I can just sit down with you all here and just explain it. Yeah, I need to do that at some point. Just for now, I'll keep it vague. For now, passion was a gift given to humans by a higher power. And they kind of, you know, like if you do little shit on it on Earth to whatever, man, all right. But like, I don't know. You could probably do some shit that would piss them off. Yeah, I should just, at this point, if I'm gonna tease it this much, I really should get into it because, but I want to do it in a way that gets us all the way through my story because there's an impactful reveal that comes with it. So let me write down this stuff about Vincent's powers. Let me do it right now. We're gonna take just a moment and pause the emulator just so I can do this right now. And if y'all don't like that I'm doing this, that's completely fine. You're just gonna have to deal with it. Vincent's family is World renowned. That's the way you spell that word. I have lowered the speed of my emulator. That's funny. 4 wind-based passion and abilities tied to this concept. The second thing is that Vincent's family, and I'm trying to figure out a way to word this, because this is actually an important part for me to decide, literally right now, what, because I want it to be something that Vincent has, but does he need to have it the whole time, or does he get it specifically towards the end? Oh, you know what? I think I literally fuck with the concept. Wow, I've never thought about this before. Okay, don't worry about that. That's me. That's for me to have. So that is actually the third set of power he has, not the second. Don't worry. It will all make sense eventually, because I have decided tonight is the night I fill you in on all the stuff that I spent like 5 hours typing up this weekend. Whole fucking word wrong. Also, I understand that doing it when exhausted must be a pain. Ah, no worries. I don't mind discussing stuff. No, I don't mind talking. It's just talking, dude. If I was too tired to do it, I would go to bed. I mean this in the nicest of ways. If I was like really in pain here or like suffering, I'd be like, guys, I'm not feeling good. I'm going to bed. But to be honest, I feel fine. So I'm gonna keep doing it. This power, this flares particularly when he is angry or when he is thinking of, I'm gonna put that in quotes, evil actions. This is the one that I can't tell y'all anything about. I guess I could tell y'all about that one. Oh, I actually can't tell you about that one. Never mind. Oh well. I also want an opinion on should the war be between actual countries, because I can't tell if that'd be very controversial. As in the war for your story, you were wondering if you should have like actual countries uniting under this power set. That is a question you want to ask yourself in terms of like what you want your setting to be. Do you want your setting to be a realistic fiction where your setting is the real world and this stuff is happening in the real world? Me, for example, I am like kind of creating a new Earth almost. I'm creating a new world that has its own countries, that has its own, it's not going to be like America or Israel or Russia, Uzbekistan. I'm making my own places with my own countries and my own stuff. So you're gonna have to decide what kind of, if you want to make it in the real world or if you want to make it something that has its own stuff going on. Man, this is some really nice shiny hunting we got going on. I just realized, yeah, man, we're shiny. Yeah, guys, we're shiny hunting. Let me go back and do an encounter just cause. Let me go do an encounter just to keep my gear so I won't be fined. All right. Let me write this shit down, and then we'll go back to shiny hunting, and then I'll be reading off of this. I actually think I did this whole thing. How do I want to phrase this? I'll just leave it at that, and I won't break the silence on that. All right, whatever. I'm done. I'll leave it as that. It's good. I can. There is more I wanted to write. God damn it. Whatever. Man. Keeping it grounded into the real world just sounds right. Okay, that's entirely fair. So then I guess the question is, what do you want to do about that problem you're facing? Because you can just consider it a non-problem. You can kind of play into it a little bit, like, yeah, you might see this as problematic, but like that might be a you problem, honestly. I just have to do this. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think you'd run into that many problems if you just did it. If you just but I guess your question is like, do you? Okay. Sorry, I am tired, so it is taking me time to come up with intelligent thoughts. Look, what you're gonna have to ask yourself is, what is the scale of the war that's being fought? Is it a war, like my story is a war that is affecting the globe itself, essentially because essentially the strongest man on the planet decides, I'm gonna kill anybody who opposes me. I plan on taking over the world, kind of thing. And that eventually will plunge the world into a massive fucking war. Or actually, well, yeah. Very rapidly plunge the world into a war. But your story, there's no defined scale to it yet, as far as I know. So I guess it's a question you have to ask yourself about how big you want the war you're participating in to be. Yeah, man. Let's get to 114, and I want to take I don't know, this might be what we end the stream doing, but I want to take some time to write some stuff down. We'll turn this into a just chatting story kind of stream. I've done some shiny hunting, haven't I? I wouldn't feel too bad if I ended up fucking not shiny hunting anymore. Who knows, man? Who can say? You want to know a fun fact about yawning? It doesn't necessarily mean that you're tired. Yawning is a natural response your body has to not receiving enough oxygen, which you typically do by breathing very shallowly when tired, but it could just be a symptom of you just kind of not breathing very much. Your brain kind of Pavlovs itself into thinking that you're tired when you yawn, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're tired. I believe I've explained that on stream a couple times, but, you know, like I said, I literally am tired. So, please excuse me. Right. I think trying to find which angle inspires you the most and makes it most compatible with the story you're trying to tell is the best place to start with that. So what helps you write the story you want to write the most? Is it deciding the perfect when? Is it deciding the perfect where? Or deciding the perfect why? Yes, like not super modern technology, but pretty well-defined societies and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's my thought, is like, what helps you the most in terms of writing the story you want to write? Because at the end of the day, like, and maybe this is just my writing style, opposing what you may want to do, but like, I feel like the message I'm trying to convey and the cool things that I want to have happen via conveying those messages, not just from being very poetic and literary, but also because I want cool shit to happen in my story. I think that's far more important than like when something is happening, where something is happening. So I made all that stuff first, and then everything else just kind of fits into puzzle piece shapes. Like when I run into a problem, like I have to ask myself a question, and then that helps determine other things about my world, and solving those problems is how I continue to build this story. So I guess my answer is, like with most things, that's worth thinking about. Sorry, I can't help, but it is a good question. That's a great question. Think about it. Ain't that just the best advice ever? Well, for names, won't the story have to be in America for Sage and Rosemary and Rosie? Not really, because those references can be completely outside of where the story takes place. You can have those names and have the story take place in a magical world that has nothing to do with our modern world. You know what I mean? So I think you are okay to decouple the literal meaning of their names to, I mean, unless that's a cool, important thing. Like I said, find what you think is cool and important. If you think it's cool and important that all the characters in your story are in America and they're all based on American bugs and insects, then that is your bounding box. Now all the other decisions you make are surrounded by that box. Like, okay, so what time period in America? Okay, so we're in America and we're at war. Is it like a civil war between states of America? Is it a bigger war that extends into Canada and Mexico? Is it even bigger than that it expands across the ocean? Which countries pick sides if it's going to involve more countries? So like that, like if you've made your bounding box that, and I'm saying if you have, I don't know if you have, but like if that's the thing you find cool as fuck, that can be your bounding box that all of your other decisions have to fall into, because you're writing a fictional story and those details are less important. Not that they're, you know what I mean, they don't have to be a certain way as much as your core concepts have to be a certain way. I can work with that. I mean, Rosie Moth is North America, right? Like, but that's the question you have to ask yourself, is like, is that the thing you think is cool as fuck and want to have happen no matter what? Meaning that everything else has to mesh around it. Like, oh shit, don't slow the game down, please. There are certain things that I really, really want to happen in my story and have informed other decisions. Like, for example, I've talked briefly about the concept that Vincent gets taken to the other side of the planet. And now he is over there for many years, interacting with new people, forming new relationships, and watching those people eventually die. But the real question is, I also want Vincent to be very motivated to return home to where he was to face the man who did all of this to him. So I have to ask the question, and now because I want that to happen more than anything else, that is a core concept that cannot be changed. Here's the question though, why can't they just send Vincent home? That is a question I have to ask myself, and will change the rules of this world to accommodate. Not that, like, you know what I mean? Like, not in a sense that, like, all of the rules of my world can be changed, but that is a driving force that now makes me decide, okay, how does my world work? How is this war working? Why Vincent can't go home is because of XYZ, and now XYZ are written in stone and can't be changed because it has to do with that big fucking thing that I want to happen. Now, I guess that's the point I'm trying to make, is like that concept is cool as fuck to me, to the point where I will change everything around it to make, well, I will develop my world around that idea. So you can do the same thing if you think naming all of your characters after North American creatures is like the thing that you think is really cool enough to force all other rules of your world to bend to. And on the other hand, it just doesn't have to be that at all. You're writing your own story. There's a lot of freedom to this shit. If you find it cool enough to do that to, then do that to it and just have it be free as fuck. But you can also rest assured knowing you don't have to do that at all. Like, you can just have them all be references to North American bugs, and then just be like, nope, that's just a cute little neat hee-hee-ha-ha nod to entomology, and it be nothing more important than that. Boop. I booped you back. I got you back. It was good to see you, Koryu. How are you doing, man? I don't know if I've ever talked about this. Koryu is, in fact, my brother-in-law, and I was hanging out with him this weekend. Just got off work. Whew. Working late. Honest man. Good for you, brother. We are in the middle of breaking down philosophies of storytelling and how, like, if you think a concept that you want to write is cool as fuck, like a certain thing that you want to be true in your story, you can make all of the rules of your story bend around that rule. Like, you know, it has to be in my mind, it has to be logical. Like, for example, my character, they can't just send him home. I want to give a logical reason that sounds good and makes sense. I don't want to just be like, because of the. I want it to really have an impact on the world itself largely, so that it makes sense that it is impacting Vincent at his level and impacting tons of other people at other levels. My base concept is like, he's going to like trade routes are shut down across the world. Like, getting him home is literally impossible because of all the hoops you have to jump through to even get anything over there, like food and water, much less a whole fucking person. And if you try to smuggle, you're going to be dealing with a lot of, like, security. And so smuggling someone across the world to go home is, like, literally impossible. That is my like generalized idea. I haven't hammered that home enough to know if I like it enough for that to be the main reason Vincent can't come home. But that's what I'm saying. Like, my idea to leave Vincent stuck is forming how the world is bending around it. And you can do it like that if you think your ideas are cool enough to stick around with, or you can just say, whatever. I'm trying to get PVC Fusion to work. Is that the game we talked about? I think that is the game we talked about over the weekend. I'm so fucking tired. I thought you were talking about Plants vs. Zombies. Let me see here. I think. I don't actually know it wasn't. It's something. You might actually be talking about Plants vs. Zombies. I don't know. I'm tired as shit, man. It is Plants vs. Zombies. Nice. Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. But yeah, my chat has kind of been inundated by Shandy slowly lighting the storytelling fire back into my heart. And me kindling his fire and me, my own being reignited in the process. Why does Luadorfia japonica Some more like Rosie, the symbolism of the butterfly being an arrival of spring, beauty, and tenderness. Right. I figured the moth was because of your moth to the flame thing. Maybe it can be like a last name or a nickname. Maybe it ties into her mother, which is like she was sweet and delicate and tender and spring beauty tenderness, and that's why Richard fell in love with her, and now they're clashing and is sad. But that is, that signifies not just your Rosie character's disposition, but also possibly her mother's before she mentally broke. You know what I mean? Like there's my brain goes in directions like that. I don't know. Like I said, I hope I'm not like dictating the things that are happening in your story too much just because I feel like I come up with ideas. You do what you want with your stories. I hope my genuine hope is that you never take any of my ideas at face value. I'm not kidding. I don't want you to take any idea I ever throw at you at face value. I want you to sit on that idea, think about it, how it relates to your story, and then make a decision from there about how you want to tweak the idea I threw at you. I never want you to be like, oh, okay, that's a good idea, I'll just do that. No, not really think about it, you know what I mean? But yeah, like I said, there's an interesting angle for you there. And speaking of, I'm gonna call this like the point where I wanted to start talking about story stuff. I'm like, this is a level 1 Kadabra. I'm kind of like chill as fuck with with just sitting here and going off to Storyland and doing that stuff. Let me. There, if we do want to go back to it, that'll be set up now. I did use speed up to get past the menus faster, but I didn't take a single step. We're paused right here, which is where we always start on a new load. So don't fucking get mad at me, but I did use speed up in the background. I probably should have just showed myself on stream doing it, but I didn't get any encounters or anything. That being said, finish. I'm so fucking tired. It's 11:30. I don't want to write shit, actually. Never mind. Passion works like this, and I'll write some more about that tomorrow. Passion works like this, lol. Lol. Alright. Oh, boy. Yeah, story stuff's kind of crazy. So as I described before, the two main concepts of Vincent's passion abilities, because that was a concept we were talking about a while ago that you wanted to hear more about. Vincent's family is a world-renowned, wind-based, like, school of teaching. Like, of course, they have their own family secrets, which, they use to maintain high positions of security and stuff in the world. But like they usually teach supplemental stuff to people. There's the concepts of like, I don't know if they actually do school specifically. The Lockhart family does school specifically, but there's the concept of like learning the basics of passion and the proper ways of using it. It's somewhat akin to Harry Potter having a wizarding school to teach people. There's some concepts built into society that are similar to that. So Vincent's big thing is that he is like the heir to this family. He is the eldest. He is the eldest son of the current heir of the current like head of the Lockhart family, and will receive that status upon his father's death. But there's a real like genuine connection to passing that torch. Is that head of the Lockhart family for generations has passed down this sort of like I'm trying to explain it. I've never actually thought about explaining it in terms of not revealing endgame content, but like there is a certain, like, I'll call it a holy blessing that their family passes down from heir to heir. So Vincent's father currently has it as the head of the family, and when it's time to pass that on to Vincent, he will be the one that has that power. When it's time for his father, I've called his father Charles. That's the current name I have, which I think is going to be a placeholder name. But when Charles is done dying, whatever, we'll pass that on to Vincent. And it's a tradition their family has had for generations. Their family has had it for hundreds and hundreds of years. It is one of the reasons that the Lockhart name is considered so, like, renowned, is because the heir of the family has this power as well that is above what almost everyone is capable of. Not everyone, but a lot of people can't really keep up with that level of power. The third thing to worry about, Rosie is, not trying to switch this to my story. I was typing for a good minute. Yeah, no worries, man. I'll read it very quickly. Rosie is turning into the main character. At first it was going to be Sage, which I eventually need to work on Sage too. Sage is pretty mysterious and abstract at the moment. You could have kind of like a ambiguous main character kind of situation going on. You know, like Full Metal Alchemist has the Deuteragonist situation. There's certain shows that have, you know, like... Nah, I was gonna say Avatar: The Last Airbender, but Aang is very clearly... I mean, like, obviously Aang is clearly the main character, but to be honest with you, with how much screen time and importance its supporting cast gets, you really get this vibe that none of them are that much more important than the other. Clear... In your story, if you have the same vibes as Avatar: The Last Airbender does, you can accomplish this. But, like, obviously, clearly Aang is, like, the Avatar. He's the golden child. But if you don't have that concept on your team, then everyone kind of feels like they're at the same level. It's a lot more akin to, like, the X-Men. That's a lot better of a comparison. I don't know why I was talking about Avatar. It's a lot better comparison to, like, the X-Men, where none of them really feel like the most important. Maybe Jean Grey. But, like, really, I mean, you know, obviously everyone has their favorites, like fucking Wolverine or whatever. But, like, the X-Men feel very... Everyone's at the same level of, like, importance. Like, that can be the way that you write your story, is that there is no main protagonist, which means in a story where you're putting characters will die on the table, any of them are on the fucking chopping block. And you can play that card nice and early with a character that you're not super interested in, and you kill them off, like, early on. And it is like, oh, we are all fucked. Oh, we are all on this chopping block. Let me change the title of the stream. Fuck it. Or screw it. Whatever. We talking story stuff now. And then I'll change this to just chatting. Shiny hunting break. Shiny hunting break. We talking story stuff now. That's a perfect title. Yo, James. Looks like I digested enough? Dude, good fucking Lord have mercy. Did I fucking ever? I might have to go take a shit in like 10 minutes. I don't know, dude. Oh, I ate like fucking 700 pounds of Korean barbecue tonight. A good fucking Lord. Yeah, we're pivoting a little bit. We did a little bit of shiny hunting. We're gonna go on break for a little bit, where I'm just gonna sit here and we're gonna talk story stuff. Okay, so I talked about Vincent's Lockhart family is world-renowned for being masters of wind-based passion. Talked about the fact that the heir of the Lockhart family, the current head of the Lockhart family, has this holy blessing power. I haven't really defined what that means yet. I do know what that means, but not, you know what I mean. I don't know what that means for what it looks like in the beginning of the story. I know what it looks like at the end of the story, but not at the beginning. A holy blessing kind of power that the head of the family will pass on to its heir. So Vincent is in line to get this power. And then the third thing is once Vincent is transported to the other side of the world, he will gain. I'm wearing my influences on my sleeves. It's the fucking curse mark from Naruto. It's the curse mark from Naruto. It's an unexplained origin as he wakes up stranded in a forest with this mark on his hand. That the energy will flare up. Finally got the translation mod to work. Nice, good stuff. I'm giving the background to my story dump. I'll let Shandy talk about his, but essentially he was like deciding names for his characters, what they're gonna be, what their naming scheme. That's finally what it is, the naming scheme. And some of the smaller details that he and I have talked about tonight. But finishing my thought really quickly. That native Chinese Plants vs. Zombies native Chinese? That's hilarious. But the third one is he just wakes up in a forest and has the curse mark from Naruto on his hand. He doesn't really know. There's no explanation of where that power comes from. And it flares up, particularly when, as I've written this flares up particularly when he is angry or when he is thinking of committing, quote, evil actions. I more want to pivot that towards selfish. Not really. Kind of the general concept is like when he is thinking about like, screw this guy, I want him dead. That fucking mark on his hand will start to like sear in pain, and he will like start to have this like will taking over him that will actually, if he lets it run rampant, compel him to kill. He will, have some time in the woods by himself to come to grips with it at a base level, and is constantly making sure it doesn't go rampant. It's a fan game from China. Interesting. He's constantly going to be making sure that it doesn't spiral out of control. So there's that concept. This is what my character gets up to. I feel like that is somewhat important building blocks to work upon. I guess I should give James the summary of what I talked about as well. I kind of forgot. I talked a lot about like how passion works. And so like to start back from basics, from ground zero, because I don't know how much people remember about it, but like I had this concept of like the things that you believe in your heart can be true if you know how to create them. And in more specific terms, every character in my story is going to have a somewhat kind of like Dragon Ball Z ki or Naruto chakra, just the MacGuffin fucking soul spirit energy kind of thing. But the way you use it is that you have to manifest it in a way that does something specific. And I'm so tired, so my words are not going to be the best, but I'm going to try my best to re-explain this. Like, if I fucking going to bed, all right, Koryu, it's good to see you, my man. Take care, brother. But like, if I want to shoot a fucking a Kamehameha out of my hands, that's going to take so much energy that I die in like a second after firing it. I'll go, Kamehameha! Like I'm not gonna get much juice out of it, and that's like the strongest. And that is like some of the stronger people wouldn't be able to do it for very long, kind of thing. Using your passion as just this like brute force energy is very, very inefficient. But if you use that to transform it into more specific things, you get more out of it. And I've been playing around with this concept. I don't know if I want to go with it fully, but the idea of it, the more specific and more particular that it is, the less energy and more potent that it is. The comparison between potency and energy efficiency will swing. So like, if I specifically wanted to make something that is exactly the anatomical composition of a sword, that would take less energy than if I wanted to just make a beam of energy that cuts you. That general concept. I don't know if I want to go through with that, but that's something I've been playing with in my mind for a long time. But the point is, from a thematic perspective, the real thing that kicked me in the head with the story that made me want to stick with it for as long as I have is that I am driven to have my themes, my morals, my messages of my story relate directly to the things that happen in said story. So like, the fact that passion has this ability to like manifest what you want. One of the big things I thought of was like, oh shit, believing in the heart of your power and believing in yourself literally makes you stronger. So like, if you are sitting there, you know, there's this anime bullshit moment of always like, I'm the main character. I really believe in myself. I can do whatever I want. Fucking, yeah. Yeah. Now, I don't know about anything, but like, you're definitely a bit more competent at using passion if you do that. The part I really liked is that the opposite happens. That's what makes it grounded for me, is if you fucking doubt yourself, if you fucking are not certain of what you're trying to do and your capability of doing it, if you think, oh fuck, this guy's too strong, I'm losing, I can't do this shit, you are nerfing your own ability to use your passion, which spirals downwards. Now you literally are weaker. Now you can tell you're weaker. Now you know your opponent is that much stronger than you, and you are that much less confident. And so eventually, if an opponent can fight you and break you mentally in a fight, you will lose like instantly. The fight is over in the mental battle. Like, I can just prove like, I can prove that I'm like 15 times stronger than you, and your will break, and that'll be the end of the fight, kind of thing. Like that can, and in a lot of more show-offy instances of the story, will happen. But I think that concept of like being driven by your own personal motivations is like one of the key parts of my story from a thematic perspective, in terms of the bigger questions that I'm asking of like, how much do you really value, well, I guess it's a bit of a different question, but like there's questions that I ask and like messages that I want to portray in the story that are directly tied to those concepts of this power system. And so that was my driving force of like why I've stuck with the story so fucking much. And the big one that I ask is, Vincent's family, the Lockhart family, are very world-renowned. They're very powerful. They're very accredited. They're one of the most, like, prestigious families in terms of, like, combat prowess. Maybe not necessarily in terms of, like, elite statusism, but they'd be decently high up the totem pole in terms of that. So Vincent will also have to deal with silver spoon bullshit. That being said, their family really leans on this air of stoicism. They're very, we're gonna do things like, I am not going to wear my emotions on my sleeve. I am going to hide those emotions away and use what power I have to do what I need to do. The confidence that I have in my powers, the confidence in my abilities to do so. I am not going to let my opponent mentally shake me. I am not going to let my opponent hit me or hurt me in my brain. I am going to win the mental battle every time. And that is one of the things that makes the Lockhart family very powerful. And Vincent fucking can't do it. Vincent is awful at doing that specifically. He is very much a genuine, honest, upfront, emotions on his sleeve kind of character, and struggles greatly. He's quite competent. He's actually pretty, like, he's pretty strong. He's not, like, for people his age, he's pretty good. But like, if he ever comes up against somebody who's stronger than him, like, it breaks his mental. You know what I mean? Like, he struggles with not, and like, for better or for worse, right? Like, he struggles with So one of the big questions I asked with the story is, how much do you compromise your feelings to do what you need to do? And Vincent, and I've talked about this in previous streams, but Vincent will come to terms with finding himself closer to the middle, that he butts heads with his dad because he thinks his dad is completely wrong, and his dad tells him that he's completely wrong, when in reality they both need to move towards the middle to grow and develop as people. And Vincent will do that heading towards the end of the story. Actually, probably towards you want to call it this way, I break my story into 6 parts, probably around the end of part 2. I'm doing good, Harley Phoenix. How are you? We're just doing some storyboarding talking. We're just chilling. We're big chilling. Are you big chilling? It's very late for me, so I'm very sleepily chilling. Did you see my question? I didn't, because it did show up. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna bite the bullet. I think I've danced around it enough. I'm gonna give you a plot summary of the first half of my story. I'm gonna answer this question, ramble about it for probably 10 or 20 minutes, and then we'll do it. I'm glad you're doing good. Yeah, the streams are going well. It's been fun. It's been a good time. But yes, your question, how do you deal with multiple characters? Like, do you fully work on one from A to B and move one to another, or do you work all at once? I let the ADHD run rampant and fluid, and I develop characters as good ideas come to me. I don't really take too much concrete time to be like, okay, let me work on Bruce. Let me think about, and sometimes I do a little bit, but like, I don't find myself very often being like, oh, fuck, I don't know shit about this character. But maybe I'll have a better answer for you when I do that. But for the moment, I just kind of feel stuff out as they stick. Harley, that depends, but I'm willing to listen to your question. Oh, why did I think you said something completely different? I misread your chat message entirely. I'm not going to clarify too much. I am in Central Standard Time. So it is currently almost midnight for me. Ah, okay. I think that's in... What time zone is that? Nope, that's 1 ahead of me, so it's 1 a.m. for you. Good lord, what a trooper. What's your favorite game? In particular, I don't know, probably like Pokemon or something. Probably Borderlands. I have about 4,000 hours across the series, so probably that. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, there's kind of my answer to that question is just like, I just kind of bounce around very ADHD-like. Kind of, and because the characters I've done the most developing on are kind of a 5-man band, and so they all kind of develop together, if that seems weird enough. Like, 2 of them are dating, 2 of them were part of a found family, where like, so Bruce and Sema have been in a relationship. Will and the character I've currently named Volt, because I can't really remember what name I gave her originally. They are Will's family adopted Volt, and they are like super close platonically. They are the kind that butts heads with each other, and they protect each other fucking no matter what. They are in it forever. Do we stream daily? I have been doing daily streams lately, but typically, no. I try to go for about 2 to 3 times a week. Appreciate that, Harley Phoenix. It's really nice of you. I might do a Full Metal thing. I can see my YouTube chat pops up before it does on my stream element. I might do a Full Metal thing where Rosie and Sage have a crush on each other but don't realize it until the end. Yeah, that works. I like that. Harley, potentially. I'll go ahead and listen to your question. Go ahead. That being said, I think I am done being able to stall this point. Sorry, my brain just short-circuited there. I typically don't do like showcasing of commission stuff on my channel. I try to keep that pretty. I don't want to do that on my channel. You can feel free to reach out to me on Discord. It's the same name as my YouTube name, or it's on Twitch. It's just the part that doesn't have OG in it. You can send me a friend request there, and I guess just DM me stuff. And if I guess I'm not super serious about adding that kind of stuff to my channel at this point. But like if I ever do, I'll keep you in mind and hit you up if I ever want to do it. So you can do it that way. I've had a lot of people do exactly this. They come into chat, they get to know me, and then ask me to, then they want to show me their digital art. But I like I said, if I ever do want to do it, I want to keep those people in mind, and you know, throw your hat in the ring. I get you're doing a hustle, and that's admirable. So I fuck with that. Is Rosie and Sage the name of your OC? They are the names of his characters in the story, so I guess that is OCs. I always think of OCs in terms of fanfiction terms, but literally they are his original characters. Alright, I think I actually can stall y'all fuckers just a little bit more. I am going to refill this with water, and when I get back, we will do our storytelling. It will be, this is it. This is the moment. Everybody clip it and everybody get ready. I am going to break down my plot summary for part 1 of the Lockhart Passion Project. So, stay tuned for that. I'll be back soon. And I appreciate you fuckers for staying up late. Y'all can leave whenever y'all want. Don't worry about it. I've got this recorded. It'll be on my channel later. So, don't sweat it. Also, I looked in the mirror for like the second time today and realized it's about time I shave the neck beard stuff. We gotta leave just the goatee on. All this shit gotta go. All that shit gotta go. Yeah, they've renamed the characters, that's correct. Oh, alright. That's just one final attempt to stall this part because I really don't fucking know. Do I just show y'all the notepad I've been looking at that's really giving me like a goddamn headache? That's probably what I'll do. Can you please drop your Instagram? I do not have one. I do not have an Instagram. I don't got it. I don't use it. Yo, I feel like I want to pass out on my bed. Wait, that's Pop. Oh shit. I read that before I realized he was saying it. Yo, Pop, good to see ya. We're doing something far more sinister than usual today, man. I just got done cleaning my house and prepping breakfast for Mother's Day. Oh, that's really sweet. So my sister is moving out of college literally yesterday and today. So we have decided to do Mother's Day next weekend. We're going to do something nice for her today, obviously. But, you know, the big celebration and whatnot is going to be postponed for a week just so we can have good vibes. Or we not good vibes, but so like we can properly celebrate it together as a family rather than worrying about moving and all this other shit. Point is, it's really cool to do something nice for your mother because your mother's fucking awesome. You should make a troll Insta page. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Let's see how I want to do this. What even fucking one of these do I use? Let me just do this. Let's make this a main scene type of thing. And then I'll just add a new window capture and we'll call it Notepad. Never in my streaming career did I think I would need a stream element that is specifically my fucking notepad. Like, I never thought we would be at this point, and yet, all the same, here we are. Oh, this is like a brilliant idea, actually. Oh, this is great. Oh, this is actually really good. But I actually kind of fuck with this a lot. But I gotta see it in proper size. So we'll go out of studio mode and we'll go over to the main scene. Holy Jesus, look at this fucking thing. Oh my God. And it goes. It's a lot of fucking words. Actually, I'm a little stage frighty because y'all can read too much of that. So can I like, oh, here we fucking go. Yep. Now y'all can see even less of it. This is what I want. Hell yes. There we go. All right, cool. This shit fucking goes. There's a lot going on. Mine's not nearly as big. Yeah, I've been doing mine for, I don't know, probably about 30 to 50 times as long as yours. Don't worry about that shit. Let me go ahead and clean this element up a little bit. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do about this in terms of the YouTube video and the shiny hunting thing. I have no fucking idea. But let's make this big, go all the way to the top. Oh no, it doesn't really. Oh, fuck with that actually. Yes, fine, right? We're kind of cool with this. This is fine. It looks a little weird, but like, this is probably fine, right? It's like a quarter of that. Yeah, dude, if you already have a quarter of this, then you're doing great. You're doing great. I probably have a little bit more than this. But like, just like as some, like I've really just put this together in about 5 hours previously. So no, this is not a comprehensive list of plot events or even the order in which they will be told in the story. Consider this more like a super outline of my story. I also have any name in quotations as a placeholder, which is probably most of them. Turns out it is most of them. And anything surrounded in brackets are problems that I need to solve. Like this one. What do I do about money if people can just make gold? Do I just make a bartering system? Do I just make bartering societies? Vincent's powers throughout first half are as follows. Yeah. If I didn't do what I did tonight, my brothers would have done nothing for tomorrow, so we would have been steam fried. Yeah, that's it's good to do nice shit for your mom. So that's really sweet of you. All right. Oh, I really don't know how I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Without further ado, let's get into this. Before we can discuss any of this, passion works like this. Lol. As in, this is not a part of the thing that I have typed. Can you please type the Discord username? Why, yes, my friend, I can do that. It is this. That is going into too many chat rooms. Let's do it just on the Twitch side. There you go. There you go. There you go. All right. So I've described it a couple times tonight, but because I want to make this kind of a comprehensive like thing that I'm doing here, and I really shouldn't do it. I'm this tired. Fuck it. Stop. Believe in yourself. This is what the story tells you. Believe in yourself. All right. Off the top of the dome, let's get this shit going. This is how passion works. Passion is a power system that I came up with specifically when I wanted to make this, like, that specifically derive. Oh my God. Passion is a power system that I specifically made because I was inspired by coupling my power with the way that my story is going to work. And what I came up with is a power system that is derived based on the person's will and intention. If I know exactly how to turn the air molecules surrounding my hand into a fucking butter knife to stab you with, and I know exactly what happens to those atoms to make that happen, I can do it. It's a lot more complicated than that. I'm making it sound very simplified, but in essence, that's kind of the driving force of this power system. And the other big factor of it is that your ability to perform and use it is coupled with your emotional state. Specifically, people who are very... What's the word? God, I've already described this twice tonight, so it sucks that I'm really waffling on it now. But like, you know what? I have described this shit too much. Y'all fucking heard this shit already. Point is, if you fucking don't believe in yourself, you're very weak. And if you do believe in yourself, you're super strong as fuck. Not that you can do anything, but it will modify your base power to a certain extent in either direction. Our titular main character, Vincent, is the most important of this, and the three most important aspects of what he could potentially do is that he is is that his family, the family he comes from, kindly accept the request. I will do it at some point. Thank you, Harley. Vincent will... oh my God. I can't do this, folks. I can't fucking do it. I can't do it, guys. I don't have it in me. I don't have the gas in the tank to do this right now. I really do want to do this. I really, really do. But I got no gas in the tank for this. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. He's being insecure. The passion won't work. It's a little bit of insecurity, but it's also just like... Give me a second. I'm taking a mini nap. I'm taking a little sleepy poo. Just a little. Mom, just 5 more minutes. Let me get this shit out of the way. Cool. You sent me a friend request with your other burner account. Awesome. I'll just accept the one, and we'll just back pocket that one and see. You know what, Shandy? You're so right. Lock in, gamers. So... the reason I think that passion system is really important, of like powering yourself up based on how much you believe in yourself, but also being able to do anything you want if you know exactly how to do it. So taking all that energy and confidence and all of that like positive energy and putting it towards something specific rather than just putting it towards fucking whatever. Those are coupled to the points of my story very directly. in the questions that I ask, like how important are the emotions that you have? How much do you stifle them to accomplish the things that you need to do? And how much do you listen to them in order to have an understanding of who you are as a person? These are important core questions that I ask in my story, and there's a lot more relates to a lot more. But I want to get a little bit more of a simplified explanation of what's going on here. So as I have talked about the cool aspects of that previously, I think that that's just fine for now. This is not a shiny hunting stream, by the way. I actually, genuinely, I'm going to stop recording because I want to do a clean recording of this conversation at some point. But so we're just going to leave this VOD on the channel as is. This will technically be part 25 of the Platinum Shiny Hunting stream, but you know what? What the fuck ever. I think stopping this recording is going to build my confidence a little bit more, so I'm powering myself up. Anyway, what's very important is our main man, Vincent himself, and I'm going to get some shit off the screen that I don't want y'all to see right now. LMAOO 4K, get owned, noobs. If y'all hadn't been reading the bottom of the screen until now, don't go back in time, please, I'm begging you. I mean this from the kindness of my heart. Anyway, the 3 points that are very important about Vincent is that his family is a well-renowned, wind-passionate family that uses their understanding of atmospheric molecules to manipulate the air around us into fucking gusts of wind to knock people over, to creating solid discs of air, for example, to like propel yourself, jump on. Lots of different applications I don't want to talk about right now because my brain is... But his family's very fucking good about it. Vincent's family also has what I'm going to describe as a holy blessing. I'm going to actually put that word blessing here because I actually do think that that's probably going to be the end game concept I have with it. Point is, the head of the family, who is currently Vincent's father, is going to pass down this holy blessing to him when A, he is ready, and or B, his father can no longer fight competently or anything. It's a passing of the torch kind of thing. So when it's Vincent's time, he will receive it. I need to reorder these. Whatever. I'll just put 2 and 3 here. The third one is one of the main plot points of the story is that Vincent will be transported from his side of the planet towards the other one. And when that happens, he will awaken, abandoned, alone in the woods with essentially a Naruto curse mark on his hand. Just straight up, just the fucking Naruto curse mark on his hand. I'm wearing my inspiration on my sleeves as much as my main character wears his emotions on his sleeve. Point is, it's basically the same concept. There's another force that gave him this power, although no one in the story knows who or what. But this power flares up when he is angry and lashing out, or, as I've put kind of cheesily here, when he's thinking of committing evil actions. So the idea here is more so like, if he thinks, I fucking hate this guy, I want to punch him in the head because I'm angry at him, this energy, this I'll call it darkness, or just call it darkness, just as an easy throw around word, like flares up and starts to kind of manipulate his thought processes. If he kind of lets it, it's kind of like a shoulder devil almost, telling him like, actually don't just punch him in the head, literally like stab him in the heart and tear him to pieces. It will compel him towards committing unrighteous acts, is kind of the whole concept of it. And he will be fighting against those thoughts and all that. He's gonna fight his demons. Yeah. I mean, I'm a big Naruto fan. Can you tell? I have a curse mark character who has a demon living in his head. Yeah. All right. The first half of this story, which is what today's breakdown is going to be about, is cut into 3 segments. Vincent's life before being transported, Vincent's time overseas as an officer of the army, and Vincent's return to his homeland and the end of the war. These segments are not remotely equal in length. Part 1 would, if I'm going to do this in like an anime episode concept, part 1 is like I mean, you could probably do it in a single episode. I would probably take a couple to break it down. I would probably do about 2 or 3, probably 3, somewhere between 2 and 5 episodes to really hammer home some of these things, to set up the pieces. Some of it might happen like in terms of flashbacks. Some will be peppered in. Really, the story begins when Vincent gets transported and his time overseas. That part 2 is going to be like more than half of the entire length of this segment. Maybe. I actually don't know. I think part 2 and part 3 actually might end up being kind of a similarly length section. It depends. You'll see why. It depends on how much on-screen time I want him to spend as an officer and doing things with his team. I do want to spend a lot of time with it, but I actually haven't decided how much yet. Also, these are not technically halves. I think this first half is about... I'm noticing typos. This first half is about twice as long as what I consider the second half will be, but they are broken up between like major arcs almost. You could almost keep bringing up Naruto references. You could almost consider what I know will happen in part 2, which I haven't written any of down. I know it's in my head, but I haven't written it down on this notepad. But you can consider part 2 to be Shippuden, and that's that's more of the concept of like, there's gonna be maybe a time jump. There's gonna be the very different tone between part 1 and part 2. That's my mindset of it. Anyway, let's skip that stuff I don't want y'all to see, and let's start breaking down the plot of this story. Oh man, you know what? Whatever, leave this on screen. It does mean stuff to y'all. Let's break this shit down the best I can. So, we're gonna begin our story with learning about Vincent and his setting. We're gonna learn about him as a child. We're gonna learn about his family, specifically his father. We're gonna learn about his friends, his, whatever, romantic interests, this, that, and the other. We're gonna learn about his home. We're gonna learn about the world he lives in. We're gonna learn about the people who inspire him and tutor him. One of those people being Damascus. Quite boldly, towards the very beginning of the story, this character is going to decide, I hate everybody, I want to rule the world, I will kill anyone that tries to stop me. That includes you, Charles, father of Vincent, and my closest friend. If you get in my way, I will kill you. They, at some point in time, and I don't know exactly how to set up all the puzzle pieces for this, but essentially Charles and Damascus will get into a fight. I don't know how to set the puzzle pieces for that. How do we get here? How I'm gonna put that as a note. How do we get to the next step? Because like that's gonna be a common thing from going from like a point here to a point here to a point here to a point here. Like, I don't know the specifics of how to get there, but this one in particular seems like important. Like, how do we get to not just Charles fighting Damascus, but why the fuck is Vincent and people watching? I need to set up that scenario. I need to set up why the fuck is Vincent there? It's very important for him to be there. Remember I was talking earlier about like when a part of a story is very important, I will bend the rules around it. This is me asking, how do I bend the rules around it? How do I get Vincent in this scenario so that the things I want to have happen will happen? Cool. Anyway, Charles is like the only fucking guy, and again, to reiterate, Charles is Charles Lockhart, current head of the Lockhart family, father of Vincent, yada, yada, yada. Charles Lockhart is the only one strong enough to fight to stop Damascus. Again, and this is in vague terms, because I haven't figured out the specifics of it. It's gonna be this fucking guy is going to have this plan, and they're going to inflict him with a curse that stifles his ability to use passion. It is an overkill. It's supposed to last fucking 10 years. And this guy, like, oh, 10 years? I won't need 10 seconds anymore. And immediately has his body crushed and his arm, like, blown off. And Vincent rushes in to help. It ain't gonna do anything because Charles is fucking killed. He gets to watch his dad die. And Vincent is not quite nearly as strong as Charles was and is not gonna hold up so well. He's gonna have his face scarred and eye damaged beyond repair. My character is blind in one of his eyes. So there's that, some striking visual detail about my character. That it's gonna be a physical scar of this interaction with the man that Vincent used to look up to a lot, and it matters a lot because now you'll see. So Damascus is going to finish him off. He's gonna fucking kill him. You just gotta walk with me on this one. A formless black hole opens beneath Vincent and swallows him whole. Damascus's right-hand man, the one who cursed Charles, takes credit, and all assume Vincent is dead. And as we know, Vincent ain't dead, because Vincent wakes up alone in the woods, completely lost. A searing pain is felt as a newly etched symbol has appeared on his hand. Vincent vows to spend the rest of his life planning and training to stop Damascus. It drives him to survive the forest's hardships. This is what I would consider up here. That's this segment done. So we are now in what I consider part 2 of the story. 6 months have passed. An army veteran named Rollo encounters Vincent after animals clearly attacked by a human are reported to a nearby town. So essentially, like the vague background of this is there's going to be sort of not decrepit, but kind of like dilapidated old man, kind of 40s, mid 40s, 50s, still capable, but not at his prime anymore, who goes out to explore some reports of some weird goings on in the forest. And he is gonna encounter Vincent. I missed a line here. He encounters... Oh no, I said Brolo encounters Vincent. I said it right there. Brolo eventually calms Vincent, and it is revealed to not just him, but to the audience, that they are currently on the other side of the world. You didn't know that before. Right now, you're learning this right now, even though I've explained it kind of weirdly. You were learning this right now. By the way, all the other Lockharts are dead. Damascus has spent those past months slaughtering all of the Lockharts, and they're all dead. Vincent's the last one, and nobody knows about it because he's fucking on the other side of the planet, and nobody knows about it. Except for this guy, right? This guy knows... This fucking guy, Damascus' right-hand man, knows about... Don't worry about that. Shut the fuck up. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. During this time, Brolo and his wife, nicknamed Nono, take Vincent into their secluded home in the hills and is briefly trained under Brolo's tutelage. This is for... I don't know exactly how long it's going to happen for, but this goes on until a force of Damascus' army attacks the nearby town. Brolo goes in to help, and Vincent follows behind despite being ordered to stay. Essentially, Brolo goes, Vincent tries to follow, Brolo goes, fuck no, stay here, don't get in danger, you need to stay quiet and safe, runs off to the town, and Vincent goes, screw that, I'm following. Vincent shows up, and Brolo is greatly injured. This angers Vincent, and that dark energy starts to pop off. Immediately goes wild, and it kills Brolo's attacker. Like, this is reinforcing the idea that, like, if push comes to shove, we can use this power to, like, fight and do what I need to do. This will accomplish my goals, my dreams, and, like, this plants the seed of relying on this to accomplish what he wants to do if he feels like he can't do it. Rather than believing in himself, this will inspire him to believe in this dark energy that he can lean into. A bit of a dynamic that goes on as he's developing as a character. But after that, it shows that it's not the shit, and he's quickly overwhelmed by the other troops. Oleana, leader of Squad 841, swoops in and saves Vincent. I don't know how important this is, but Vincent is somewhat smitten by this character. This is important, actually. Her team, made up of members Bruce, Will, Sema, and the currently named Volt, assist in dispelling the remaining attack. This is the game. These are the gamers. This is them. These are the folks. Oh my god, I love these characters so fucking much. I love them to death. I've thought about them more than any other character, almost more than I've thought about Vincent. Anyway, no one but Oleana recognizes Vincent as a Lockhart. I should clarify that's what holy fuck, it is so late and I cannot type for shit. Good lord. No one but Oleana recognizes Vincent as a Lockhart, so she leaves him with her team while contacting someone higher up to determine a plan. Vincent meets with the others and they hit it off well. Essentially, they're getting buddy-buddy, and that is minorly important in the short term, because Oleana and the arriving captain, who I've named Copper, determine the safest solution is to minimize risk by hiding Vincent in a secure facility. After dismay from the group and Vincent's plea to one day go home, they decide to make him an unofficial member of Squad 841. Essentially, I don't have to explain any of that shit. Okay, well, essentially, this is, if I were making like a seasonal anime, this would be episode 12 of the season, and it would pick back up with him integrating as part of that team. Or maybe it wouldn't. Maybe, I don't know. I'm speaking nonsense. Don't worry about me. But like, we've had all this build up. This kind of feels like a tight end to something. Maybe I say Vincent's life before he's transported. It could be Vincent's life before an officer of the war. Who knows? Why, as I've asked myself here, why can't they get Vincent home? Is it a literal restriction, a physical impossibility, a bad strategic move, or some combination of the three? So essentially, is it like, we literally can't get you home, we don't have the ability to? Is it, we can't get you home because we have to follow the rules? Is it they can't get him home because you will surely fucking die if we try? Or some combination of the three? And there's a very little words here, but there's a lot happening here. Vincent will spend many years with this team. It'll be at least 7 years, in which Vincent becomes an official member of Squad 841. Of particular note, Vincent learns that Damascus is the long-lost brother of that Oleana has been searching for, making Vincent further question how he should deal with him. Now, that is a bit of a... I'm now reading this and realizing I didn't take a lot of tact with this idea, but one of the developing strings I have is I want Vincent to have as many reasons as possible to question whether or not he should just straight fucking kill Damascus. Like, there's parts of him that really want to kill him because he hates Damascus for what he's done to his family and his life. But there's parts of him like, that's my old teacher, or also like, I want to be a good person and not kill him. But then there's like, oh, but you have to be the one to kill him. Like you are the one. You're growing stronger, and there's other rules that I haven't really explained. I want whatever. I'm not gonna explain all that shit. Point is, this is just another cog in that step where Vincent thinks like, has to think more about what he wants to do. Like, this is somebody, the person he cares very, very much about. It's her fucking brother. I don't even know if he is gonna tell her. Like, my imagination is they're sitting around together and she finds an old photo with him in it, and Vincent recognizes who that is because that man lived with them for a long time. That's his dad's best friend. That's someone he spent a lot of time with. He recognizes it immediately, and I don't know if I want Vincent to spill the beans like, oh yeah, I found your brother. He's Damascus. He's the one who's doing all this horrible shit. Or maybe Oleana already knows and doesn't want to tell anybody, and Vincent happens to find out. Either one of those, to be honest with you. I actually just thought of that idea now. I'm gonna make a note of that I'll put it in parentheses. What if Oleana knew all along and never... Oh my god, Jesus. Never told any... This is how storytelling goes. Sometimes you just look through your shit and you come up with cool ideas like this. And never told anyone until Vincent and or the team. It's kind of a cool concept. Because I've always had it that, like, everyone just has no idea. But, like, that's got to be kind of... My thought process is with Damascus's main setup is on the other side of the planet. So most people only know word of mouth about Damascus, what he's done, who he's hurt, who he killed, how he slaughtered the Lockharts. They've never actually seen him. So no one on this side, it's like higher up, top secret knowledge, knows what Damascus looks like. So when Oleana comes by and is like, hey, this is a picture of my long lost brother. Like, I've talked about him before. I finally found a picture of my long lost brother. Vincent's like, oh my fucking god, that is Damascus. Or this new concept that I just thought of, which is, what if Oleana knows the truth? No one else knows the truth. Because, maybe we're in a world where we get to see pictures of Damascus doing videos of Damascus doing horrible things. And everyone else is like, oh, what a fucking creep. And Oleana's just sitting here like, oh my god, that's my older brother. Oh my fucking god. And doesn't want to tell anybody that she's harboring those hardships about what it means that the entire world is trying to kill her older brother. Both of those concepts are very cool in my head. And I don't know which one I like more right now, so I'm going to write that down because I've never thought about that until now. That's sick. And more importantly, about this whole shtick about Vincent going around with Squad 814, how much do they know about Vincent? Vincent comes from a very wealthy, prominent family, so you would think that maybe his face and likeness would be public knowledge, but maybe years have gone by, time has passed, physical scarring of the face makes him somewhat unrecognizable compared to normal, but then he'll also still be using wind passion, so then people will put the puzzle pieces together quite quickly. These are questions that I need to answer and really, quite honestly, don't have great answers for. But it does really determine how I'm gonna carry this. Not only because the concepts are very cool, but also someone like me, which doesn't know how to really make a story, versus you that has at least some experience. It's interesting to see how we build things differently. Yeah, I'll be honest, this is the most I've ever thought about anything by like 100-fold, or maybe even 1,000-fold. But there's core concepts of just like, my core concept in creating any kind of art is to look over it again and again and again and again and again. And kind of like laying out a base, seeing what I think about the base, and then building on it. And then what about that? And build on it. Oh, I don't like that part. Let me tear that part out and build a base this way. Like, it's to constantly be reevaluating my position and cobbling something together piece by piece. So you're seeing that happen in real time, where I come up with shit like this, despite having thought about this particular moment, where Vincent finds out that Oleana's brother is Damascus. A big, pivotal, impactful, emotional moment. This is literally the first time in like 3 years since I've had this idea where I'm wondering if it actually is Oleana that knew the whole time and didn't want to tell anybody. That's the first time I thought about that. So you're seeing in real time me going like, oh, I don't know if I like that. Let me build this way, actually. You're seeing that happen right now. All right, and one last thing to note before we go on further from here. Note, I have no direct story beats planned for this above section about the years he spends with Squad 841. But this will be where most of Part 2's content will come from. Deepening his bond with the team, learning and training with them is the core of this section. Spending time with Squad 841, with Oleana, with Sema, with Will, with Bruce, and with Volt. That is key to this section. Because it needs to make what happened next hurt. It needs to make what happens next hurt. On one mission, I'm gonna move my mic like weirdly, like this. This is so weird, but this will help me read the part of the screen that I want. Hopefully, yeah, I'm gonna have It's gonna block the light. I don't really care. Makes things very dramatic. Ooh. What if I, you know what? Fuck it. That makes shit very dramatic, doesn't it? Let's see. On one mission, Vincent is told how to hold down the fort while the other 5 go scouting. Vincent feels compelled to follow them, but this time decides to follow orders. An emergency flare meant to signify immediate retreat. I want to clarify the urgency of that signal. Meant to signify immediate retreat, instead compels Vincent towards the fight. Upon his arrival, there is little Vincent can do to prevent all 5 of them from being killed by... I named him Aura. That's so funny. What about... Well, this is the Aura. Sure, we'll leave it as Grand Regent Aura. My concept, I talked about it earlier, about a character that you punch and it like literally poisons you to death within minutes. That's this character, and that's why all of them basically can't do anything, because they're all surprised that one by one they're falling over dead. Vincent's rage, kept somewhat under control at this point in his life, flares up more than ever, and Vincent is able to drive Aura away. Oleana dies in his arms moment before aid arrives. Boo-womp. Vincent is taken in by Copper. Oh, hey, that guy we mentioned all the way up here. Huh, how about that? A returning character. Taken in by Copper, relieved of active duty, and made to train in preparation for his return to home. Part 2 will end here. I need to ask a question. I have some general ideas about what changes to make going home possible now. Essentially, my mind is kind of driven towards stuff we're going to talk about in a little bit, but I do need to ask this question about what specifically changes. I have some concepts. The short answer is the end of the war is coming, and lots of people know it, and very high up officials know it. Yeah, womp womp Oleana. We're going so fast through these characters, but genuinely, I fucking love these characters so goddamn much. This shit hurts to think of. When I think about this shit in my head, it hurts. I have a lot of very sad, somber songs that get played with this. I also want to include her dying wish. And this is a concept I already have, so I just forgot to write it down. Is that Vincent, quote, saves Damascus. And doesn't and dies before she can explain that. But she confides in Vincent, like, save my brother, save Damascus. That is what she wants. Those are her dying words in his arms. Eek! Anyway, this is the end of part 2. Part 2 ends here. We're going into part 3. It's time to talk about the war, the big part of the war. Obviously, all of this has been pretty war related, but this is some final battle shit. A bit less than 2 years will pass before he embarks for home. Off camera and revealed in flashbacks, Vincent will have learned much about passion control, masking his presence, and combining multiple power sources. So he'll have more control over what he's able to do. He'll be able to this wording was written before I made a different decision. His darker power source, singular. So essentially he'll be able to use it alongside his typical stuff in a more cohesive, less I'm working with the devil kind of, or I'm letting the devil win kind of way. This Copper is going to be essentially, this is Jiraiya training Naruto in Shippuden. Fucking remember when I said I'm wearing my inspiration on my sleeves? I wasn't fucking kidding. While this occurs, we also learn of the homeland's current state. This is where Vincent came from. The state of the war is deep, with a consistent threat being a mysterious figure named Bot, who works for neither side. Vincent's side is planning on a decisive final battle soon. Highest member of the force in Vincent's old tutor rank has a reason for this plan he will not reveal to anyone, including other high-ranking officers. So essentially, this fucker rank has a plan, and no one fucking knows what it is. That's what you need to know. Something I can promise tomorrow, I'm going to sit down and try my best to get closer to finishing Rosie as a character. I won't rush anything, but whatever I can get done, I will get done. Like I said, as you just saw here earlier, where's my mouse? Up here, you're never done. Getting a good groundwork is a great place to start, but just understand that a lot of your character's stuff isn't really set in stone. And I get that's more of a physical, and that is more of a surface level aspect of a character rather than a deeper emotional aspect of your character, but still, just recognize that the complexity of your characters will be changing constantly. Okay, we're getting into the big stuff here, so I'm going to start hiding parts of the screen. What happens if I click down on my arrow keys? Okay, cool. Whatever. Vincent returns home in a suit that hides his identity. He, unknown to them, will reunite with his childhood friends, who are in a squad of their own and are all highly regarded. Vincent will only reveal himself to Penelope, which is the love interest, and will somewhat conclude the romantic tension of their situation brewing for this whole story. Essentially, the only positive reason that Vincent ever thinks of why he wants to go home is he wants to see Penelope again. And Penelope, on his side of the world, is holding out on some belief that he didn't actually die, that he was sucked into some hole and something else happened to him, and she's been constantly holding out hope for him to be alive. Hence the name Penelope. Can I be honest with you? I told y'all a while ago that I heard Would You Fall in Love With Me Again from Epic the Musical for the first time recently, and it made me cry twice. The second time is because I made essentially a cringy OC fan animation where people use musicals to animate their characters in my head, where Vincent reunites with Penelope over that song. And in mythology, her name is Penelope, so that's why her name's Penelope. I'm wearing that inspiration boldly on my sleeve because I think that shit is clever. Because she has a belief that he's alive, and she's holding out hope. I've had that thought in my head forever. Now, like I said, all my concepts are very vague. Like, I say Vincent returns home in a suit that hides his identity and reunites with his childhood friends. That is like, there's probably like a 3-episode gap between these two sentences. Like, Vincent's gonna come home, he's gonna do a bunch of shit, they're gonna do a bunch of shit, they're gonna, like, happen to be doing the same shit at the same time. Vincent's like, "Those my friends," and they go, "What the fuck, kill him. That's an enemy." But yeah, like, there's a lot. That's the thing to take to heart, is like, this is not like a comprehensive list of everything that happens in the story. This is more story beat, story beat, story beat, story beat, story beat. Cringy is a hard word. I do it too. Maybe I'm taking hopium. Maybe we're both cringe. I think it's cringe if I animate it and put it on the internet and I'm like, here's my thing. But also, I'm also so down for people just making art. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck. But like, it is a little, that's stuff that a lot of people call cringe. I might not necessarily call it cringe, but it is labeled as cringe on the internet. Anyway, let's get into the big meat and potatoes. On the day Rank had planned for, so Rank, I didn't clarify that Rank not only had a specific plan, but it aligned with a specific day. Any guesses why? Damascus ambushes Vincent and his group. Vincent sees it coming and keeps his friends safe. Just kind of a vague concept I didn't really clarify super well, but essentially Vincent has it in his head that Damascus is going to attack them at some point in time and is constantly purveying. Again, still disguised. He reveals himself to Penelope, but he is still disguised to the rest of them. So this is the moment of the story that what we're talking about right now is the part of the story I have thought about the most. So you're about to see us talk about a lot of shit. So just strap in. But the concept is that Vincent, in this suit that hides his identity, is also suppressing his passion. Because there are types of people in this world who can read and, like, identify people based on their passion. And Vincent knows if I just go over here as me, everyone's gonna fucking know I'm alive. And everyone's gonna fucking try to kill me. So I'm coming over here under the guise that, oh, maybe I got killed with the rest of Squad 841, depending on how much they know about Vincent, coming over here in complete disguise, having his power suppressed, and as he begins to fight Damascus, he'll let that power up. Because there's a simple concept that Vincent knows that Damascus isn't fooled. Vincent knows that Damascus knows this is little kid Lockhart. It's not about hiding identity, it's about hiding true power. Vincent's plan is to bait an attack he knows leaves Damascus vulnerable, hit him hard, turn off his power inhibitors, and never let Damascus get his footing back. Essentially, I have this big fight scene moment where Vincent's dodging and punching, and he kind of like throws one punch that makes Damascus open himself up to an attack. And there's a moment where like Vincent has been seeing this moment in his mind for many, many years. This is the moment he's been planning for Damascus to throw the right attack. Unfortunately, I'm abandoning stream. It's almost like 2 a.m. and I wake up at 7. Dear God, you wake up at 7? Why the fuck are you here? Go to bed. Get out of here. Jesus, I say I'm not going to do this too often to you, but seriously, go the fuck to bed. This VOD will be up later. You can watch it later. It's fine. But essentially, I have this big anime moment in my head where like this bait attack happens, and some narrator will be like, Vincent has been planning on this moment. He's been envisioning this in his mind. And then he kind of hits Damascus and finally gets Damascus to stagger because he knew he was baiting this option and knew he could hit him hard. And in that instant, while Damascus is struggling and tapping back, Vincent will go to complete full power and just wail on him nonstop. So Damascus can't get his footing back and start to fight this, but also Vincent knows that if it weren't set up this way, that his strength would not be enough to beat Damascus on its own. But not just the fact that he's going to keep Damascus on the back foot, but the confidence that gives him will amp his passion. And he knows that it will and is planning on it. We're getting to a point where I've glossed over it in other parts because I haven't really talked about fight-to-fight moments, but this type of strategy of not just winning the mental war with your opponent, but creating guaranteed moments for yourself to give yourself more confidence is something that Vincent has to plan on, because unlike his family, he's a very emotional person. So he has to put himself in the best position so that he can literally power himself up. And he knows it'll literally power himself up, so that will bolster his confidence in the moment further. And it's a whole thing. I have a whole thing that during this moment is where he lets loose, and that's where one of Vincent's friends who reads Passion is like, oh my God, it's fucking Vincent. The whole time it's been Vincent. That's why we've been waiting. That's what Rank has been planning. Maybe. This plan works to a point. To a point. As Vincent is landing the final blow, he has a brief moment of hesitation. He pictures Oleana in his head in her dying moments, and he hesitates. The whole concept of this is he is not going to stop no matter what. But in a brief moment, he thinks of Oleana and her wish. That somewhat lowers Vincent's confidence, but also gives Damascus some leeway. So Vincent still lands this really big, devastating hit, but like it was going to kill Damascus. No question it was going to kill him. And now he's just really hurt. And now Vincent is fucking drained. He put everything into this onslaught attack to chip down Damascus to a point where he could land a killing blow. He put everything into it. He's got nothing in the tank. So now this lethal blow that was supposed to just kill Damascus, he's alive, and Vincent is just out of commission. Vincent is now met by his friends, and Bot makes an appearance. Oh my God. And Bot makes an appearance ready to help. Vincent is moved away in order to heal and potentially rejoin the fight. Bot and Vincent's strongest friend, Flare, Bot, as well as Vincent's strongest friend, Flair, go to face the weakened Damascus. That concept's pretty self-explanatory. Vincent's just down and out for the count on the ground, grasping at life. Bot shows up and is like, I'm gonna help you fight Damascus. I've now that's what I'm here to do. And then the leader of the squad before Vincent showed up, because Vincent's by far the strongest of these people, Flair, he's like, all right, you and me, Bot, we're gonna go put on a show against Damascus. He's weakened, he's slowed down. Maybe we have a chance to beat him like this. We can use what Vincent has given us, and we can stop him. And I have to change. I already know it. I have to change the wording of this next section. Whoops. Scrolling here is very scary, so we're gonna leave it like this. Give me just 1 second. Can I scroll any less than this? Because there's parts of this I don't want people to see yet. Nope. This is what y'all get. Wait, I can maybe... Oh, that doesn't help. Maybe make it bigger? Yeah, making it bigger worked. Okay, cool. Cool, very cool, very cool. Okay. While Vincent is being healed, a holy energy instantly restores him. Oh, you know what? I can do that. That's fine. Yep. So the same holy energy that comes from his family lineage just fucking heals him. It is not explained in the moment. It just happens. Everyone's very fucking confused. Vincent sits up, sees Bot, Flair, and Damascus fighting, and re-enters the fight in what I am calling fun time mode. Vincent is a character that wears his emotions on his sleeve, right? He's very upfront about how he feels in moment-to-moment situations. This is a fight with the strongest guy on the planet. He sees the 3 people fighting and is going over there like he's playing a game of soccer. He's in fun competition mode. He's in, I'm smiling, I'm taunting my opponent, I'm assured of our victory. After more of what Vincent calls stalling, it is revealed that it has been exactly 10 years since Vincent and Damascus fought. And that Bot is actually now his fully powered father, Charles. Vincent explains he knew the moment he saw Bot because that was a generations old armor that his family made for people without passion. For people weak in passion. Essentially, that's kind of like that was my concept of a, I don't know if it worked, I don't know if you got the whole dramatic tension of the moment. I tried to make it as best I could despite being very rushing through all this stuff, but I've been setting the puzzle pieces for y'all since the beginning. 6 months, a little bit less than 7 years, a little bit more than 2 years. That's 10 years. We've been timing this shit, man. I've been thinking about this shit, man. I've been planning this whole thing in my mind. So Vincent re-enters the fight in fun time mode. Not because he thinks he can beat Damascus, but because he knows that's his dad, and he knows what today is, and knows this is what they've been planning this whole time. This is what Rank has been up to. Holy shit, my dad is alive. Holy shit, he is going to kill Damascus. As long as we can stall for time, and obviously my father would just be kicking his ass if we didn't need to stall for time. But as long as I, now fully re-energized, can go out there and stall Damascus long enough, my dad can power up and kill him. I don't know if I cooked. I feel like I cooked. I don't know. I've had this in my head for a long time, and I've been thinking about how exactly I want this card to lay out and be played out. And this concept is the best. everything we've been talking about for the past 30 minutes, this is what every single fight scene that ever is in my head is about nowadays. Like I don't think about anything else. I don't fight with anime characters or anything else. It's these fucking characters doing literally this exact fight because I can't get this segment of the story out of my head. And we're about 2/3 of the way done with it. Uh-oh. What do you mean? God is here. What do you mean we're only 2/3 of the way done? As Charles has Damascus on the ropes, a ball of energy, I wanted to almost write from off screen, but a ball of energy flies into, of black energy, flies into Damascus and makes him stronger than ever. Vincent rushes in to help his father, because last time he left his father and his father died. But this time, he is the one dealt the fatal blow. Vincent is dying. Our main character is dying. While Vincent is grasping for life, his friends go to stall Damascus on Charles's order. Charles then compels, it's supposed to be an M, compels Vincent to undergo the passing the torch ritual, a family tradition that passes on all of one's energy to next of kin. Now, I've phrased it this way because literally tonight I have decided that Vincent doesn't have holy energy before this, but in my mind previous to this moment, Vincent has had his own, that the whole family has its own holy energy, and that the father just has the biggest one. Tonight, I've decided I want it to be a one-person blessing that passes on and strengthens, kind of an all-for-one situation where it gets stronger as it passes down. Hey, look, another piece of inspiration I wear on our shoulder. It will restore Vincent, it will increase his strength many times over, and it will kill Charles. So that happens. Lol. So that all happens. That all goes down. Lol. Stinky. Vincent gets to watch his fucking father die again. Holy fuck. Can you tell I'm putting my character through quite a fucking bit of turmoil? Well, I hope you think that because we're not done. Once the ritual's done, Vincent rises from the ground to find one of his friends has already died while stalling Damascus. Vincent can hardly react as Damascus cuts Flare in half, killing another one of his friends in front of him. Woof. Despite being overwhelmingly filled with Charles's holy energy, Vincent's dark side takes over as he brutalizes and toys with Damascus. So, let's just reset the situation. Let's back up a second. Charles is back. He's fucking up Damascus. Something happens away from the action, and Damascus is incredibly strengthened to the point where Charles and Vincent cannot handle him together. Vincent is dying, is about to die, and Charles gives his life to save his son. As his son comes out of the stupor that saved his life, two of his friends are killed right in front of his eyes, and he psychologically snaps. Like, we've talked about him getting angry and this dark side of him flares up. No, this dark side, this is the precipice of whatever that concept is, of whatever devilish form he would take to make this happen. I imagine him maniacally Joker laughing as he's just tossing Damascus around like a rag doll. I'm imagining him screaming with tears in his eyes. I'm imagining him almost feral, like an animal attacking, just clawing, and I even had this vivid image in my head of Vincent literally biting a chunk out of Damascus's shoulder or something, literally with his fucking teeth, tearing it off of his flesh and just squeezing the fucking juice in his mouth and just completely losing all fucking. And I imagine him kind of slipping around in these. Maybe he'll start off completely violently animalistically angry, transforming or transitioning into just raw rage, into I'm a psycho and I'm toying with you. Just very complete mental breakdown, just a complete psychotic meltdown in this moment. So we've gone from, oh, my father's alive and we win, to my father's dead, he killed 2 of my best friends, and now it's up to me. He snaps. He's wondering all these questions about, what do I do about Damascus? All of this has taken its toll. He snaps, and he is going to toy with his food before he eats it. During this, another beam of energy set to power Damascus even further is intercepted by Vincent. He uses this energy to trace it to its source and kill the right-hand man who took credit for killing Vincent 10 years ago. Despite begging, Vincent kills him immediately and returns to Damascus. So, I imagine this kind of scenario where it's like a black ball rocketing across the savannah or whatever. And I imagine Vincent catching it without looking and going, and then using that to trace where that attack came from, finding that guy, and that guy having 1 second to go, something like, Vincent, please let me explain, and then he just fucking turns him to dust. Just not like this guy is pleading, like, you need to hear me out, I have something to tell you, and is just completely obliterated. And then Vincent, with this energy that was meant for Damascus, just holding it in his hand, which is very important to the next set of lines. After holding that energy, Vincent realizes it's the exact same energy as what comes from the mark on his hand. Realizing how much Damascus has been controlled by it all these years, he takes on his own version of his father's power and uses it to dispel the evil energy as Damascus dies, ending the war. As Damascus dies, ending the war for the most part. I assume I'll have to write some stuff about just a general concept of cleaning up. There's probably still some people who are siding with Damascus who are still fighting battles that don't matter anymore. I assume that I have to do something with Grand Regent Aura. I did have a concept that before Vincent reveals his identity, Aura makes an appearance, and Vincent's dark energy immediately upon seeing him goes wild and he just kills him. But I have to play with that idea a little bit more before I determine how much I actually like that idea in terms of a flowing with the rest of the story concept. I love that idea in concept, but in isolation I love it, but in connection with the story it seems a little... I have to come up with a lot of arbitrary rules on the fly about how Vincent's suit works, about how he is masking his identity. I have to come up with all the questions. Anyway, point is, Vincent just has this moment where he's like, this is the same thing I've been feeling for 10 years. How have you been having this longer than me? How much more potent is it than mine? Because your dark energy is way more potent than mine has ever been. And it like, Vincent's like, that's it. That's what my father's been seeing. That's why my father has been, like, reluctant to kill you. Because he knows something is wrong with you. And now I am the one who can see it. You have been controlled by this thing that's been controlling me that neither of us know who or what or where it comes from. Again, we still don't know those details. And Vincent's like, I empathize with you. I'm going to, as Oleana wished, save Damascus by ridding him of this evil energy in the last moments of his life. As it's going to kill Damascus to get it out of him. I imagine there's some moment where Damascus is lying on the ground going, this is the most I've ever felt alive in decades. Thank you, Vincent, as he dies. That's general concept of what I have for the end of this story. So that series of fights between Vincent meeting up and coming back to this side of the world up until right now, I have been replaying it in my head for 5 years. So while I may not have done a perfect job explaining it in this list, know that it's very pretty damn concrete in my head, and I pretty much have a very perfect grasp of how we go from moment to moment to moment and get to where we are now. I like this part of the story a lot. It's probably my favorite part of this entire story. Vincent hiding from his friends, and then the reveal that it's Vincent, but more importantly, that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and his own fucking father has been hiding for a decade waiting for today. So like that, the big reveal isn't that, oh, Vincent is hiding in the suit of armor. It's that, oh, that guy that you think is a robot is actually a man in a suit of armor, and that's my fucking dad, and he's about to kill y'all. Just a lot of like, I've thought about this stuff so much. Like, this is the crux of the story for me. A lot of other stuff happens, and a lot of bigger explanations happen, and I gotta be honest with you, I might reveal those bigger. I didn't think I would. They are setting the state. They are things that I considered what get described in the very beginning of part 2, but I might reveal them tonight just cause. Fuck it. I don't mind it. But that being said, that is this big chunk of the story that I like the characters in Squad 841 the most, but in terms of things happening, this is my favorite part. I also, right around here, want to have this moment where Vincent tells himself, I'm sorry, Dad. I'm not like you. I use my emotion. I can't control my emotions in a fight. And the moment he says that in his head is where he becomes hundreds and hundreds of times stronger than his dad ever was. In that moment of saying those words, that is when he gets this really epic power-up that leads him to easily be way stronger than Damascus ever has been, and just uses it to essentially do this and say, like, the dramatic tension of the it's kind of like, it's not exactly like Goku going Super Saiyan, because like there's a moment there's some more back and forth that happens, but essentially like the moment you see Vincent hit this big power spike, the tension of the fight is over. Like it's you know that Vincent's won. It's more of like, what does that mean? Does he get to do what he wants? Like, oh, what's going to happen? And Vincent uses all that strength to save Damascus in just the final moments of getting rid of that stuff that's in him. So that's what all this story has been for me, is like all these moments that I've cobbled together based on the different types of music I listen to, the sillier, epic, like the fun, fast-paced songs I use for this moment. Something like, I don't know, I'll play the song that comes to my mind right now. Give me a second. It is right here. Whenever I think of this moment of the story, I think, oh, it's older than that. I think of this song right here. When I think of this song and this moment of the story are eternally coupled in my head. They just are. They're just linked at the hip for all of eternity. Just this kind of energy for this fight, and maybe something a little bit more like dramatic and less fun for other parts of this fight. Just there's many different, constantly changing tones in this fight. We'll pop the jazz back on. Yeah. Oh, this is a perfect song to end this, because we're almost done here. I promise we have very little left to go over, and we're gonna go through it. I was gonna say quickly. We might not go through it quickly. We're gonna go through it in as long as it takes to go through. So, fuck yeah. In the aftermath, the group is met by Casa and later Galia. It is revealed that Casa is the source of Vincent and Damascus's dark energy. Vincent absolutely despises this, but knows that Casa is thousands and thousands of times stronger than him. This does not get revealed at this part of the story, but if you are here watching this, I'm going to give you a little treat. Casa and Galia are both gods. my story is going into the divine, and it plays a really big factor into another question that I've hidden from everybody that I want my story to ask is what makes us human? What makes humans worth it? What makes humans worth protecting and saving and enjoying company with and loving? And what separates us from other creatures? God, the concept of holy beings existing in our real world is something you can debate, but like that's a big part of my story that is pivotal to the second half of my story, and it is because we're involving ourselves with gods, with prophecies, with layers of self with importance, and particularly important to Vincent is that he is a prophesized human meant to save all of creation. Wow. And the gods set these pieces in place by forcing everything we just talked about to happen specifically to hurt Vincent. Because the gods have a not completely unfounded belief that pain drives power. And that Vincent grew as much as he did, which the only reason he did in terms of the gods' perspective is because he's preparing for his real purpose. But in reality, he was doing it to save his planet, to save his people, to save his race, and to stop Damascus somehow. It is now revealed to him at the beginning. It's the very beginning of part 2, so I don't feel that bad about spoiling it now. Is that all of it was completely orchestrated by the gods for the specific purpose of Vincent serving a higher purpose. You think Vincent's gonna take that real well? You think Vincent's gonna like the fact that he had to watch his father die twice, to watch the woman he loved die, to watch all of his friends die, to have another set of his friends die, to have the whole world be turmoiled by a man he looked up to greatly and honestly loved as an uncle or a father figure? You think he's gonna take it real well that all of that had to happen just for him to be strong? Because I don't think he's gonna take it real well. Let's finish it. Let's wrap this up and wrap up the stream, shall we? Gallia is revealed to be the source of the Lockhart family's holy energy, a being the family believes to be God itself, and as I just spoiled, literally is a god. I'm not gonna go into more details than that, but this ain't a monotheology. I forget the term. Whatever. It's a multi-god shit we got going on here. Both Casa and Gallia speak in vague terms about Vincent's importance and that they would be back for him soon. This, for the most part, ends the first half of the story. The second half of the story is something I know much more vaguely, so while it's probably going to sound much shorter when I actually write it out, it's only a bit shorter. Does that make sense? I don't know. But like, whatever I write for the second half of the story, in terms of these words, is going to be a lot less than what I wrote above. But it's probably only going to be about 20. It's probably only going to be about half the length of the top section. That being said, that's it. That's the end of the document. Yeah, this is some shit I've really been thinking a lot about. Now, in terms of what directions I really end up going towards the end of the story, I might get a little crazy with power levels and stuff, but I need you to trust me that I am still holding true to the concept of, like, my intention of, like, coupling what happens in a story to its meaning and value. Like, we might lose some of the mystique of how cool stuff is, because I find a lot of cool value in terms of limitations on powers. as we go further into the second half, those limitations are probably going to go away. It's going to be a lot more high energy fighting. It's going to be a lot more galactic scale. It's going to be bigger, stronger, impossibler, far less grounded in the first half of the story. And from a story writing, as an author's perspective, I have a hunch that if I ever did make this half would divide the community quite heavily. It would make people really dislike the second half compared to the first half. I imagine it won't go over well in terms of people consuming my media, but it is, I think, a big deal for me to do it. And yeah, that's kind of all y'all are getting tonight. I gave y'all a lot of it. I gotta be honest, that chunk we've been through tonight is most of the story. It is most of the heart of the story. The second half is a lot more finalizing why all of this had to happen to Vincent, coming to conclusions about grander sense of importance, or grander, like, things that have to happen, like the importance of you as an individual and how you can affect the people around you. I'm rambling at this point. I should probably just go to bed. Point is, I love this fucking story so goddamn much, and I created all of it. I was inspired by a lot of different things, very clearly inspired by a lot of different things, but at the end of the day, I came up with all of this. This is mine. I fucking love it. So if I ever do end up making it, it's gonna be exactly how I want to do it. Much like this stream, I ain't gonna give a shit about anything else. I'm gonna do exactly what I want and nothing else. And on that note, folks, I'm gonna turn the light on for just a little bit. Let me not mute my mic so y'all can actually hear this outro. Folks, if you did end up watching this, because I can see there's either nobody else or just one other person in chat right now. And if you are a real person in chat, yo, what's good? But regardless, I'm out of here. I've done what I set out to do. I did a little bit of shiny hunting today. I ended up talking a lot about my story, a lot more than I thought I would. I will be back again tomorrow for more shiny hunting, so don't you fucking worry about that. Yeah, I really don't have really much else to say or think. It's 1:15 my current time. I've been up for like 17 hours. My brain isn't working very well right now. Yeah, I love that story. I really do love that story. And I'm glad I've kind of written it down in a way that makes a lot of sense to explain to other people. Because I always worry, like, if I explain things in my usual ADHD scattered way, you're not going to feel the impact of, like, oh my god, fucking Charles has been alive the whole time or whatever. You know what I mean? So I want to give that impact when I'm explaining even just the rough parts of my story. So I'm really glad I ended up writing that stuff down. And I plan to continue. Because like I said, I probably next steps are to break down the second half the same way I broke down the first half. And then from there, it's solving the current plot holes that I have. And then from there, it's filling in the rest of those plot points. And then at that point is defining the setting, defining more specifics about the characters, which will lead to more like nuanced things. It'll lead to, so like I want to give like a perfect roadmap. Like right now I have A to Z, and I have a lot of points along the way to Z, but I don't have all of them yet. So I want to get all those plot points, and then we'll build the world around it and reshape that pathway as I see fit. That's how I'm deciding to set up this. And like I said, once I get this whole shaboom, shabang, shaboom, shabam, this whole combo goes off and I get like a triple Tetris or something, I assume I won't be done. I assume it'll take another couple rounds of looking at everything and assessing everything, and then, of course, all of that is just to decide I'm done with what I think the plot is, and I'm done with what I think the story is. Now time to fucking make it. That horrifies me, because I still don't know what medium I want to do it in. My mind says something like anime or manga. just because I think a lot of what's in my head is a visual splendor kind of stuff. A lot of, I could picture a lot of the dramatic tension of moments in my mind better than I've probably explained them here. So I would love to break it down visually rather than verbally, because I think, I don't know, is it a lack of confidence in my verbiage, maybe? I'll keep thinking about that. I depending on how long this all takes to really finalize and put together in the end, I think it will take quite a while for me to come to that conclusion on how I want to tell the story. Yeah, I said I had nothing left to say, and then I rambled for 3 minutes. This is why I'm a streamer, folks, because I can just do that shit on accident. I'm gonna go to bed. Folks, it's been really great hanging out with y'all tonight. Not very many opportunities where I get to do a late night stream where I get to talk as loud as I want. That doesn't happen very often. And so when it does, I kind of like to take advantage of it, despite how fucking tired I am. Gamers, it's been a good one. I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Until then, y'all have a good night/morning, and I will see y'all again in, like, I don't know, like 10, 12 hours? I don't know what time I'll stream tomorrow, but I'm definitely streaming tomorrow. So, see you then, gamers. Y'all have a good night.